Good afternoon, everyone. We cordially invite you all for today's Python workshop conducted by our founder and CTO of GUVI, Mr. Arun Prakash. We are glad and overwhelmed with each of our presence and hope to make this event a successful one. So, with us, we have our CEO and founder, Mr. Balamurugan. So, we would like to hear a few words from you.
Thank you, Ashni. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to meet you all over this presentation. So I'll just give a quick introduction on the flow, how this session is being handled, so that you can get an overview about this. This webinar is especially is focused on Python for beginners. Okay, so the intention is whoever wants to start the programming hands-on stuff, so they can actually learn from the basics and they can go till the advanced level. Okay, so I'll tell the reason for starting this webinar. Earlier, as you know, GUVI is an IIT Madras incubated company. So we are an online learning platform where people can learn technology courses in their native languages and then practice in the platform and get hired. So as a incubated company, as an IIT Madras company, so we've been working with like close to 5 lakh users over the platform. And the majority are from earlier India alone. The majority of the population was from India. Learners were. But over the past 6 months, during the COVID scenario, we've been receiving a lot of traffic from Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, and Indonesia. So these are the countries from where a lot of learners came to GUVI and started learning the courses in the platform, right? So when we started supporting these learners, we were able to actually understand that some of them come from a non-IT background or from a very basic level of programming experience, right? So when these people come to our platform, come to GUVI, it is our responsibility to make sure that they feel comfortable with programming. Okay, even people who are not used to program or not used to code should have a pleasant experience in learning in GUVI platform. Okay, so that is the whole intention with which we started this. So the first, why we choose Python is an interesting question. The simple reason is it is one of the simple language, but yet a powerful language. Okay, if you are starting programming for the first time, right, you need not worry about all the syntaxes or all the hard stuffs. You can just park them aside and you can start focusing on the core programming fundamentals. Okay, so basically the logical thinking, computational thinking, these things can be easily implemented in Python. Okay, and that is considered as one of the first language for anyone to learn programming. Okay, so that is the whole intention. And to give you the background, so GUVI has been pioneering in this Python training space for the past 7 years. So we've been doing it with IIT Madras, Anna University, IIM Ahmedabad. So some of the premium institutes in India and overseas are working with GUVI for the upskilling people in Python programming. Okay, not just Python, in various technologies. To start with, I mentioned Python. So when we do that, right, we want to extend our similar support for our people who are learning from the neighboring countries as well. So that they also get the benefit of direct interaction with the technologist, also while they can learn in online, right? So that is the core intention, where we thought we could actually have a face-to-face meeting with the learners and help them understand what this Python programming is all about, and let them kickstart their Python programming journey. Okay, so once we kickstart, then you can actually go ahead and learn online through the platform, through the courses. Everything is perfectly fine. But the initial hiccups, right? That is the initial basically, we can call it as a starting table for many people to learn programming. Okay, so to overcome that, we have organized this webinar. Okay, and since this is a special webinar for us, I requested our CTO, my co-founder and CTO, Arun Prakash itself, to come and join for the session and start the programming side. So to give you the background of Arun, I mean, you can actually, you could have seen his LinkedIn profile, or you could have searched it, you could have looked in Google. But I'll ask Ashwini to give a brief intro about him and start this session. So thank you so much for joining, and we have a strong hope that this session, this workshop, hands-on workshop, is going to be beneficial for all of you to start your programming career or programming journey. Okay, in case if you are stuck somewhere, feel free to ask questions in the link shared to you. so that we could actually answer it promptly and guide you to take it forward. Okay, so any questions on Python or any questions in learning in GUVI, you can obviously ask us, and we are here to help you, to support you to learn programming, and especially with Python. I'll just finish with a quick anecdote to give you the nature of how Python can, how much people can actually learn from Python itself. The youngest learner in GUVI who learns coding using Python is he is 7 years old. Okay, his name is Ashit. He is 7 years old. He is the youngest learner in GUVI. And the upper side, a 70-year-old college chairman is actually the oldest learner in GUVI. Okay, so if a 7-year student can learn in GUVI, can learn this Python programming, and if a 70 years old gentleman can learn Python programming, obviously every one of us who are here can learn Python program. Okay, so with this, I will hand over to Ashwini, and once again, a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed an eye-opening thought process. Okay, guys, it wouldn't be fair to start off the session without an introduction about Mr. Arun Prakash. Let me begin this way. Around 35 years back, a small boy was born in a village in Madurai, Tamil Nadu, aspiring to learn, relearn, unlearn technology. His only aim was to code, and keep on coding to find solution for the problem. He grew up writing codes in paper even without having a desktop to run and execute the program. Finally, he joined an SIT, a tier 2 college, and started his engineering journey. Over the years of time, he joined in Honeywell Aerospace, which was indeed a dream come true company of that decade. And through his experience, he led a bunch of team and marked his name in the history. Following leading teams in companies like KLA Tenker, Kalido, he became the technologist in PayPal with a high paying salary and then moved as an architect in Symantec. At that time, he was called as a guest in his college, and then the story starts. According to him, it was the same then and now without any changes in the education system. So students were really struggling to mark their level well in the industry standard. So he decided to start a YouTube channel uploading tech contents in vernacular language. So within a month's time, it hit 1 million views, and people from abroad were the routine viewers. So he aimed in bringing a new era of tech savvy, which resulted in the foundation of 9th biggest edtech platform in India, GUVI Geek Network Private Limited, today incubated in IITM and IMTA, recognized by TI and India's entrepreneurial community, in moving towards with 6 lakh subscribers and many more to achieve before we sleep. For us, for you, and for the everyone out there who's aiming to change the world through technology, we invite our beloved CTO to you. Over to Mr. Arun Prakash.
Thank you, Ashwini. Thanks for the intro. It was very well. Probably, guys, so those who are here, I'll just reiterate the expectation so that you will not get disappointed. So the expectation of the session is to make you get started with programming. It could be general programming or Python programming. You might be not aware of programming at all. That's also fine for us. And you might know some languages. Probably you might be familiar with C and C++, Java or something, and then you want to switch over to Python. It could be of multiple reasons. Either you want to switch into the latest or the greatest which is available in the Python, like web and the machine learning part, or it could be like, for example, you want to get into, you might be in manual testing and you are in network admin, or you are a fresher who wants to get into DevOps or automation testing or anything. So these are the audiences which would be suited for this. This is just to get started, okay? And followed by that, Magesh will take on the web session where he'll be showcasing Python and web, how to start an application server, how to do it using Flask. Okay, so this is the agenda. We have it for today. And before getting into that, I'll take 1 hour of time. So in the 1 hour, I'll split it into 3 parts, probably 4 parts. 20 minutes where I'll talk about some things, and then I'll give 5-minute slots for all the questions. You can post your questions there. Okay, probably. So this is a place where, here in the Facebook page, we have given a Google link. Okay, you can go and check that link and then post your questions there, and I'll be able to answer the question. So in the after 25th minute till 30th minute, probably I'll start answering all your questions if that is not answered as part of the session. Then I'll go back to the session, and in the last 5 minutes again I'll touch upon with the stuff. So this is the plan for my 1 hour. After that we'll have a break, and then we'll have few other sessions. So the last session would be handled by Magesh. Okay, he is also an architect who has an experience in all over the world. He has traveled most of the places, starting from India, Chennai, Bangalore, Jersey, in London, near London, and then Singapore. He have worked like that. Many other places he has traveled. So he'll be taking care of the second half of the session. Okay. So post all your questions in this form. Okay. So where all we need is your email ID, so that we can award you uh, some coupons or vouchers depending upon the quality of the question. Okay. The awards would be distributed probably within 24 hours of time, because we have to figure out which is a good question, and we have to analyze, and we have to reach out to you. Okay. So this is the place where you can win the stuff, okay, from us without doing anything. All you need to ask is the smart question or the good question. It doesn't need to be a smart question, it has to be a good question. Okay. So that is the stuff, and probably I'll take you to GUVI. So this is the GUVI site, guvi.in. If you go in there, you will be able to sign in. Okay. So in this, I want to show a couple of things. Okay.
Arun, your screen is not shared actually.
Okay, screen is not shared. Okay,
Yeah.
let me do it. Thank you. Share the screen. It happens. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. Probably once you log in, so this is how you'll be landing in. Okay, whatever it is, submit it. Okay, so in this, we'll touch upon two things. One is the code kata. So obviously you are going to learn in the courses. So I'll touch upon what code kata is. And for practicing and other things, we have something called IDE. Okay, the last one here. So above the forum and FAQ, there is the IDE. Okay, so this is the place which you should be ready by now and keep it open. So in that, go to Python 3. Okay, you have multiple languages. Go to Python 3. This is where we can practice right away. You can sit and code parallelly with me. You don't need to install anything. You don't need to set up any IDE. Okay, all those things would be handled by here. And learning to code online gives you an advantage. The advantage is very simple. When you go for a hiring or a next level of rounds of interview, most of the companies give a coding round. Even we ourselves have a hiring platform where the companies will come and post their coding questions, and the users can come and write the code, and it will run against the test cases. I'll show what is the test cases. Okay, if the test case is passed, and you will be objectively selected to the company, not subjectively. Okay, it is not under the mercy of the interviewer, where the interviewer says that, hey, today I had a fight with my wife, so I will not select this guy. That is not there in the system. Okay, so you will be selected objectively. So practicing online in such platforms is very important. It doesn't need to be our platform. It could be any platform of your choice. There are multiple platforms, but please do practice there. Okay, so let's get started with this. So what is Python and where to go on Python? For example, first, let me go and get started with the basic stuff. If I am a complete fresher, okay, where should I do? The first place you should go for is python.org. Okay, so this is the place where you will be starting with it, where you can go and download the Python stuff, okay, for your respective stuff. Okay, the current Python version is Python 3. Okay, we call this 3x. There is also another version which used to be there, which is called 2x. Okay, still a lot of companies are using 2x, though it is deprecated because they have developed a couple of years back. You need to support. You can't just like that throw it away. Okay, it's like we having our old car. despite of having a new model which is released. Okay, so you can't throw because somebody released a new model in the market. Okay, you have paid it and you want to use it till it dies. Okay, the same thing applies here as well. Okay, till there is no absolute support in the industry, people will still use the 2.0 version. Okay, but as a learner you can start with 3x. There is not much difference between 3x and 2x. There are very minor differences. For example, the syntactical differences would be like how do you print, how do you read, those kind of small differences. Respect and the library support, obviously. Okay, so this is the first place where you will start with it. Okay, so you go and download Python. So once you download Python, you can start in this command line. Okay, so I prefer command line as a first step to do it, because it gives the exposure and it removes the fear. I mean, it is like a non-guided stuff. Okay, there is no one to help out in terms of smoothness. Okay, for example, if I go and type Python once I install, see if I have a Mac. So by default, I have Python 2.7. Okay, the first line, go and check what is the version of Python when you are at it. And also it says it is not recommended. Okay, here you can go and type this called interactive console. Hi GUVI. Okay, so once whatever you type it, it interactively responds. This is called REPL console. Most probably if you are used with any interpreted languages like this, JavaScript or many other interpreted languages, so you might have seen this stuff. So type a command or type a line of code, you will get immediately the output in the next line. Okay, that's called REPL editor. Okay, but this editor is not very much conducive for a lot of people. And okay, now we saw Python, right? So but ideally I said Python 3. Okay, go and type Python 3, so it will automatically take you to the Python 3 module. See here, so now I have Python 3.7.7. okay, here also if I do print, same thing, hi GUVI. Okay, so this is how, as a blind fresh start, you should start with. Okay, this is for the day one. Okay, let's say you don't need to spend 100 days to learn Python. All you need is maximum 6 to 7 days to learn Python. Okay, it is like reading a book. If you know the English very well, you will be able to read it pretty easily. Okay, let me move on with the what is the other stuff which is available. So this is called IDE. Okay, IDE is, it's like it has everything for you. It gives your life much easier. Integrated development environment where you can do the development, which is code writing, which generally we say that as a development. You can do the code writing along with the highlighting stuff. For example, if you see here, everything is black. Okay, there is no syntax highlighting. If you see here, the print is in one color, the hi from GUVI is in different color, the variables are in different color. Okay, like that, if I have a keyword, if, okay, that will be in a different color. Okay, and it gives a lot of facilities for you to speed up your programming thing. Okay, if you are I mean, most of the companies will use an IDE for their development, because for the company, the goal is not to teach you. The goal is to deliver the deliverables faster. In this case, your program faster. Okay, your software faster. So for them, they use these kind of IDEs. This is mandatory. So if you get into any company for any programming language, you will be using any one of the IDEs. Okay, it could be different languages, but every language has IDE support. Okay, for Python, there are a lot of IDEs, free IDEs. The popular one being PyCharm. Okay, PyCharm is the popular IDE. Okay, so go here and download the community version. It is from a company called JetBrains. Okay, if you are familiar with any of the Android development and other things, you might have heard the word. So in that, go and download the community version. So this is free and open source. You can go and do it. If you do the professional version, you will have a trial of 14 days or something. I haven't tried it out. So which will be a trouble for you. So better go with the community edition. Okay. So there is no much limitation as a beginner to do with the community edition. It has all the stuffs which you have it. So let me show and run how it is. For example, here you will have this arrow button, which is like a play button, which you might have seen in the music players, right? The same thing. So if I do a print and whatever it is, it gives me. Okay. Along with it, you have a terminal like how I shown there. Okay. Python 3. So all these things are part of the IDE. Hi, IDE. Okay. You can exit it. So in IDE, you don't need to work so much hard. All you need to do is go and play around with the stuff. Okay. This is one level sophistication. So think like if command line is driving a bicycle where you have to pedal, you have to work hard, you have to balance everything. This is like going in a car or going in a bike with a side wheels. Okay, which will help you to support. Okay, and the next version, which is much simpler than, is the IDE, GUVI IDE, or any online platform where you don't need to install anything, you don't need to do any stuff. So all you need is go to the guvi.in/IDE. Okay, not only this, any online compiler, and select the language of your choice. So here I have selected Python. So when I run it, so I'll get hello world here. See here, the hello world is here. I'll zoom out a little bit so that it'll be easier for you to do it. See it. Okay. See, I have hello world printed here and it is printed over here. Okay. If I want to read an input, for example, Arun Prakash, if I run it, see the input provided is Arun Prakash. I mean, I haven't fully typed it, but that is what it is. Okay. So start with this. This is the first step you should do is go to guvi.in/IDE and try running the print hello world. Okay. So once you are done, just paste your output so that I'll be able to see the output in this Facebook comment. Okay, paste it here. So let's keep this as a chatting place where we both can chat with each other. Post the outputs here. I'll wait for another 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll check it out. So again, I'm repeating. So go to guvi.in/IDE and then select the language. If you have selected, by default, it would be in Bash. Okay, don't go with that language. Okay, go with Python 3. So step 1 and then run it. You will be able to see the output. Okay, so if you are able to get into that, then it's great. Okay, so just paste the output. So copy the output and paste it whatever you got it in the Facebook link. Okay, here. So here you can paste it like this. Okay, so do that. So I'll wait for your output and then I'll be. So guvi.in/IDE. And you don't need to do anything. By default, it will come out the template. You need to give an input, whatever input is there, and then run it. Run for run button. Okay, somebody has raised a hand, which means that they have done it. Okay, you can post that questions or comment, whatever it is here. It'll be easy for us to have a look at it. So go to the Facebook page and you'll have this link. Okay. I'll go back and show it. This is how it is. Okay, so let me move on with this thing. So we got our first code in Python, so which is hello world. Okay, so let's go to the IDE and we'll try out few things. The same thing over here. Okay, the first step we got it is this one, and the second one is the next step is like, okay, I got printed whatever you wanted it. So what should be the next step? So typically we'll start with any language with the variables. Okay, so variables are the things which helps you to store your data. Okay, so what type of data? The data could be anything. For example, if you are writing a program for ATM, okay, the data could be what is the amount you want to put in, okay, or what is the card number, what is the password. These are the datas. Okay, whatever you type into as an input to the uh, program is an data. For example, GUVI, username password is data, and when you compile it, the code which you want to compile is the data. So anything you want to store it is called data. And for storing the data, you have something called variables. Okay, so these are the variables. The variables data could be of any type. For example, it could be a number, it could be a floating point number. When I say floating point, it's a dotted number. Okay, it could be Boolean, it could be string, anything it could be. For example, here I have four variables: my var1, my var2, and bool. Okay, this thing. If I try to print, okay, let me print my var1. Okay, it will tell me, I'll print it over here so that it will be easier. Okay, so when I run it, let's go to the IDE. That would be easier for everyone to practice it. Okay, let's go to the IDE. So let me my var, okay, my underscore var equal to 10. Okay, and then print, okay, my var. Okay, when I run it, I'll get the value 10. Okay, if it is a decimal number, if it is 10.5, I'll get 10.5. Okay, if it has to be a value, let me put it, for example, Arun, I'll get Arun as this thing. Okay, like that, any type of data would be kept in the data. Okay, so the data types are mostly in Python. There are four major data types which is primarily used, primitive data types. Okay, one is a number, which is this one. Second one is a floating point. Third one would be a string or a character, which is this one, Arun. Okay, it could be single quoted or it could be double quoted. Doesn't matter, both are same. Okay, and the last one would be true false. Okay, so I'll add my var. Okay, you can assign the value to anything. So my var1, let's do a my var2, let it be my var3. You can name anything. I just kept it for my var because it is easy for me to copy paste. I'm a lazy fellow. Okay, so when I run it, Control C. Okay, my var1, my var2, my var3, and one more paste, Control V, my var4. Okay, when I run it, I get all the values of output. So whatever values which we stored here are gotten as an output. Okay, so this is how you store something in a programming world and then get it back. Okay, the next question is, why do I need to store it? Okay, any of the user is going to give the input. Why should I store it? Let's assume you are trying to do a cab booking kind of it, stuff. Okay, so you get into the cab at one place and get down at another place. Okay, let's assume your, let me change it. Okay, start equal to, let's assume I get a 10 kilometer, get on 10 kilometer, and I end my trip at 20th kilometer. Okay, so if I do this, then let's say kilometer cost would be $10. Okay, so it is $10. So what will be the total cost? So you might have used in your mobile app, right, for booking cabs and other things, very normal stuff. Okay, this is the logic, or this is how it internally happens. Okay, it gets the input when you click the place in the map or the location. So it gets the location and converts that into a numerical value. Okay, starting point is this. Okay, and you also give a destination. It tells the destination is there, and the cost. The cost would be by default it will be $10 or $20 depending upon this country you are in, or depending upon the place you are in, or depending even on the situation. Okay, if the demand is more, they might increase the price also. Okay, so now we have to get all the inputs and process this. Okay, so this is called business logic. Okay, this is called business logic, and this is how we have to use it. Okay, one second, let me close that. Okay, uh, ooh, let me get it done. Sorry, here a little bit of trouble. Okay, so total cost, okay, of my travel is, so what is the starting point, or what is the ending point, minus what is the starting point, okay, into cost, or KMC, here in the set kilometer cost. Okay, so if I do that, okay, I get the output as, okay, I haven't printed it, so the output is not printed, so it is giving nil. So let me print it. Okay, total cost. Okay, when I print it, so it gives me 100. So 20 minus 10 is 10 kilometers. 10 into 10, $100. Okay, so this is how a business logic will be used. The same thing you can extend it for anything. For example, if you go going for an ATM, you insert your card. Okay, this would be your available balance, and this would be the withdrawn amount. So available balance. Okay, AVAL, available balance, and this withdrawn amount. Okay, and balance would be available balance minus withdrawn amount, and then you print it. So print the balance, okay, in your mini statement or in the display. So like that you store anything. So okay, here I have withdrawn more than what I can do it. So the available balance, let's make it 100, so that I have 80 rupees as a balance. See, I got this. This is how you will start with for any programming logic. This could be anything. Okay, if you are writing a financial thing, if you are writing a normal stuff. Okay, for example, if you are doing a GUVI. Okay, so this time taken is, execution taken is 21 seconds, right? So here also we use the same logic. So what is the time when you submitted, what is the time you ended it, and how much time it took for execution, you will get the stuff. Okay, and this is the memory. So when you ran the code, what is the memory we have it, what is the difference, and we'll say it like that. So the points are very simple to calculate. Okay, this is called business logic. The business logic might be different depending upon the stuff. Okay, I'll show. Okay, now we got the value. Okay, and we have calculated. The next step is, can we dynamically run it or dynamically get the input? For example, if the input is given by the user, I have, what will happen? So can I do all the calculations here and print it? Let me give the input. The input, first input is, let's say my available balance is 80 rupees, okay, $80, and my input is withdrawal amount is $10. Okay, and I try to print the balance. Okay, if I try to do it, so it will say that unsupported error or type error. Okay, so I get an error which is says that the type is not correct. So now the question is confusing. See, I gave the data type as properly as 10 and 20. When I give it, it worked. Okay, but when I give us the input, it is not working. Okay, so what is the error? This is how typically when somebody starts programming, they'll get caught and they'll spend a lot of time. So I was telling about the data types, right? 4 data types. I mean, primary types: integer, float, okay, integer, float, and then a string, and uh, the last type is the Boolean. There are other major types, but in convention we use this. So here let's go and add, see this. So unsupported type for the, let's see the error. Okay. So for str means string. So you can't subtract a string like this. That is what it says. But you might wonder, I've given input as number, but it is converting a string. Okay, so typically the input is a function which is part of the Python. Okay, whatever you give input, it automatically converts into what is that string type. Okay, so the one thing you need to do is you have to typecast it. Int, okay, int is integer, this is called typecasting. So I am converting that whatever, though I am giving, look, it looks like input, it is not int, it is not really an int. Okay, so when I run it, I didn't change anything, just the typecasting, it gave me the proper output. Okay, so if you are doubtful, let's remove this one and check the type. So without typecasting, let's print the type. There is an inbuilt function called type. Okay, type of what is available balance and what is the actual balance. Okay, what is the withdrawn amount. Okay, those two things I'm trying to print it. Okay, I comment the rest of the line so that it will not have a trouble. Okay, so when I run it, why it is not printing the output? It should come in type of, let's run that in IDE and cross check it whether I'm getting it in the IDE or not. Okay, so now I run it. When I run this code, where is the run? Okay, right click and go run hello world. So it is asking for the input. Let me give the input as 80 and the output is 10, I mean withdrawal amount. So it says that it is class string. Okay, so it is converting that into a string data type. Okay, so that's why what I did was, so before I added the int so that it gets typecasted to the actual right data type. If I run it again, okay, if I give the same 80 and 10, okay, see now it is integer. So you can subtract a integer, which is a number, but you can't subtract a string. Okay, that is the difference it is there. So this is data type. Okay, so that is what it is here. Okay, now we got the basic question, understanding of all the stuff, right? So let's do a small thing. Okay, write a program to calculate the simple interest. You might have heard this, right? PNR by 100. Okay, get the variable like a principal. Okay, principal. Okay, and then number of years or duration, number of years. This is the number of years. Okay, and the last thing is rate of interest. Okay, so all you need to calculate is simple interest, which is nothing but multiplication of these three and divided by 100. Okay, so try this question. I'll wait for it. After that, I'll show the output to you guys as well. Okay, by running it and showing it. I'll keep another 5 minutes for open for this. Okay, let me go and solve it. For those who have solved, it's good. Okay. Let's say simple. First is what a principal, right? Prince. Okay. And let's take the input as input. Okay. Second one is PN, number of years. Okay. Number of years, the same input stuff. Let's copy paste it. I'm a lazy fellow. I hope my mic is not, yeah, screen is shared. And then third one is R, rate of interest. Okay, so three things. Okay, and then simple interest is prince into number of years into rate of interest, and then divided by 100, PNR by 100. Okay, print SI, simple interest, SI. Okay, let's go and give the input. So let's say principal be $1,000 and the number of years would be 2, and interest would be, let's say, 10% interest. Okay, so the amount which we get it after this is $200 is what we get it. Okay, like that you can do all sort of stuffs. Okay, small tasks. Okay, in this. And what else is there? Yeah, the next data type is a string data type. Okay, let's try to get the username and password, or username, first name and last name, and print it. Okay, so the same thing, f name equal to I get as an input. So next problem is this. Okay, and then L name. Okay, if you see, I haven't used, I mean, if you are familiar with other programming languages or normal programming books, people would have used A, B, X, Y, Z. So those are the bad naming conventions which you should never use it. Okay, never use the naming convention with single variable or something like that. Use something which is readable. Okay, if I say F name, it is first name. Okay, you can even put it as a first name. Nothing wrong in that. Okay, FIRST, first name. So this is a legitimate variable name. Okay, and the second one is input. Okay, print welcome Mr. There is a concatenation operator. You can't subtract the string, but you can add two strings. So to adding two strings is nothing but it's like gluing two strings together. Okay, so F first name plus last name. Okay, so if I go to this and give the input as Arun Prakash and then M as the last name, if I run it, I'll be able to get welcome Arun Prakash M. Okay, so typically it will be easy to have a space, right? So I just add a space string. Okay, empty blank string. So if I run it, so welcome Mr. Arun Prakash M. Okay, this is how it is. So this operator is called concatenate operator. And another thing is, like as I said earlier, so it doesn't need to be a single quote, double quote. It could be a single quote also. Single quote also works the same way. Okay, there is no much difference between these two things in terms of Python. Both gives you the same output. Okay, like this it is. Then what else we need to do it? Multiplication. Yeah, there are a few other things which we can play around with it. For example, print. Okay, let's say first name. Okay, and a square bracket. In the square bracket, if I say some value 10, 1, 2. Okay, so this is called string slicing. Okay, whatever I give input is string, right? So if I want to slice this input, so what I have to do? So if I see the output, the string slicing is R. Okay, it can be 2 to 5 also. Okay, if you see that, the output would be ARUNP. So what happens is, from here to here it has sliced. So it's like how you create the bread slices, right? The same way string can be sliced into smaller pieces. Okay, and it will be much easier. For example, let's say arunprakash@gmail.com. Okay, I want to slice and get only the Arun Prakash. So what I'll do, I will give the name. For example, let's assume it is in 10. I don't know what is the number. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Exactly 10. Okay, so if I run it, it gives me, yeah, Arun to Prakash. Okay, so ideally it should be 11 and I should start with 0. Okay, the string or any arrays which you see in square bracket in most of the programming language, it always starts with 0. Remember that alone. Okay, there are one or two languages which violates this rule, but by convention, so any array, string is nothing but a sequence of characters. So any array of characters or any array of numbers or any array of anything starts from the index 0. Okay, if I run it, see here. So I got the first name alone. Okay, and if I want to get my mail ID, which company mail I'm using it. Now, right now it is Gmail. Okay, so I should start with 11. Okay, and end with, let's say, 15. If I run it, okay, I got it, GMA. Okay, so it should be 12 and GMAIL probably 16. If I run it, I got Gmail and gmail.com, let's say 20. Let's put it, or even 21. Okay, you don't need to do trial and error. Okay, I'm just doing it because to showcase it. See, my mail ID is split into two parts. Okay, which is arunprakash and gmail.com. So this is mostly used when you are doing a email validation. It's not only in Python or any programming language. This logic can be applied. It could be Java, JavaScript, C, C++, which interacts. So typically nowadays people ask for the mail ID, right, for subscription or for validating. They'll send an activation mail, and based on the activation mail, they'll activate. So when they do activation mail, this is how they do it. They split it and store it in the DB, and then they do the activation mail to you. Once you activate it, we'll enable it. Okay, so this is most of the time where we use string slicing. So this is called string slicing, like your bread slices. Okay, so far let me recap what we have done it. Okay, first is we saw how to print. Okay, before that we saw the version. So 0 is the version. Python, we have two versions. One is deprecated, which is 2. Another one is 3, but still people are using 2 also. Majority have moved to 3. Okay, and we saw IDE. Okay, and we saw online IDEs. So GUVI IDE, guvi.in/IDE. So this is what we did it. IDE. Okay, and then we start with the print, and we start with the print and the variables. Okay, variables and data type. Okay, then we saw input. Okay, and typecasting. Okay, we saw input and typecasting. Okay, after that what we saw is like slicing. Third is slicing, string slicing. Okay, like bread slicing. Okay, 1 second, I'm getting a call. Let me mute it. Yeah. Hey guys. So we see a lot of guys there in the online. So one of the things, some of the people might be interested in the certificate. Some might be interested in the learning. So one of the constraint which we have is like you have to be part of the workshop and you have to give the output. Without the output, we'll not give you the certificate. Okay. If you are not getting the certificate, which means that two things. One is you are not there for the workshop throughout. So you have to be present in the workshop for the full hours, and you have to do the tasks as well. If you skip it and if you come back and you say that I am not getting a certificate, then we'll not give it. Okay, so that is one thing which I want to make it clear. Okay, so people do just switch on and then go for it and come back and ask for certificate. That is not accepted. You have to do the task, you have to do the activity. Based on that only we'll be able to give the certificate and be there till the last. So we make sure that who are there in the last is the, and we compare that with the people who stayed throughout it, and based on that we'll give the certificate. Okay, remember that. Okay, so now let me go back to the stuff. So print. Okay, and then we have something called operators. Okay, operators are nothing but very simple, like which you have used in math: minus, plus, divide, okay, and then modulo. So one of the, and double star. So two operators which is you should remember in the operators segment is modulo operator and the double star operator. Okay, the modulo operator means the remainder. The rest of the things are straightforward: plus, minus, slash. So all these things are straightforward operators which you know it. Okay, the first three operators, nobody need to explain it. These two operators are little different thing. So the modulo operator, this is called modulo or remainder, MINDR. Ignore my typing, I'm very bad in typing and spelling. Okay, or remainder. Okay, remainder operator. Let's go and check it out. So let me have a variable like what is it? Let's say some number. And the sum number is, let's say, 10. Okay, and some number 2. Okay, which is a value of 2. I hate this. Okay, so print some number modulo some number 2. So which means that I'm trying to divide 2 by 10. Okay, so when you divide 2 by 10, what is the remainder? Obviously there is no remainder. The remainder is 0, right? So that's what I'll get it here. See, if I do the same thing with 11, okay, the remainder would be 1. If I do with the 12, remainder, if I do with the 12, 12, sorry for the typing issues. So 2 would be perfectly dividing 12 and I'll get 0. So the remainder is one thing which would be used in most of the places. So especially when you want to check whether the number is odd or even. Okay, if the number is even, you will get a remainder of 0. Okay, if the number is odd, you will get a remainder of 1. So the reason why I'm specifically talking about this operator is, this is some of the basic interview questions which people will ask. Write a program to find whether the number is odd or even. Okay, so that will be asked there in the interview. So at the time, so what we'll do is we'll divide the number by 2, and if the number is remainder is 0, it is even number because it is perfectly divisible by 2. Okay, if not, it is the even odd. Okay, like that we can split it up. So this is where the things are used. And the other thing is double star operator. Okay, so the double star operator is nothing but power. Okay, so it's like 12 power 2, which is 144. Okay, this is another special operator which you should remember. Okay, and this thing would be handy when you are doing a lot of calculations, especially in the large numbers. Okay, there are a lot of inbuilt functions also, but these two operators would be handy in many cases. Okay, and let's say we had a small question like, okay, there are some other operators which is called double equal to, less than or equal to. These are called logical operators. So this will logically compare two items. For example, am I taller than you or not? Okay, am I having heavy weight than you or not? It's like weighing against the weighing scale. So in shops you have the weighing scale, right? So when you have two items in the left and right, you compare with each other. Okay, that is what the logical operators is for. For example, I have a available amount, so I have withdrawn amount. So whether both are same, both are less than, both are greater than, both are not equal to, like that we can check it. For example, for this, what would be the output is, okay, so typically the account balance is equal to withdrawn amount or not? No, it is different. So this is different and this is different. So the answer would be, this would be false. Okay. And then what is, whether the account balance is less than or withdrawn amount? No, it is greater than. So this is also false. The result would be false. So the account balance is greater than withdraw amount? Yes, that is greater than only. So this would be true. Okay. Account balance is not equal to withdraw amount? Yes, it is not equal to only, because this is $1,000, this is $500. Okay, so this would be true. So the output might be false, false, true, true. Okay, when I run it, this is how I'll get it. See, false, false, true, true. Okay, so this logical operators are very, very important, especially when you're writing a code. So this your entire programming logic would be dependent on this logical operators in 90% of the cases. For example, when you're withdrawing an amount, so we can't blindly withdraw. When we wrote the code, right, what we did, so the balance would be this, what we did it, balance equal to actual balance minus withdraw amount. Okay, this is what we did it, and we printed balance. So we didn't even check what is the withdraw amount. Even if it is withdraw amount is 5,000, this code will work. Okay, and we'll say that your balance is 500 minus 4,000, which is technically not right. Okay, so typically you have to write a condition saying that, hey, only if your available amount is less than what you are asking, greater than what you are asking, I'll be able to deliver, or else I will not. For that, we have something called conditional operators. Okay, we have a keyword called if. Okay, if, let's say, if available balance is greater than withdraw amount, okay, if that is greater only, you have to put a colon and then give a tab, you will be able to withdraw. Else, print. Sorry, you can't withdraw. We'll say insufficient balance, and we'll show the balance, whatever it is. Okay, we'll comment out all this stuff. Okay, so this is the next step in the programming world. See, in this case, I'm trying to withdraw 5,000, by account balance is $1,000. So it says that it is not possible. So if I, the same thing, if I do it like for with $500, it will say that, yeah, you have withdrawn 500 and your remaining amount is 500. Like that we can do it. This is how the logical operators comes into play. The logical operators in conjunction with your if, else and other things will get into it. This is not a new thing. This is how our dad used to be do it. Okay, for example, if you do this homework, you will get a chocolate. Okay, if you complete this task, you will get a bonus, your boss will do it. Okay, if you go to the shop, if you take me to the shopping, you can go and hang out with your friends, your wife might say it or girlfriend might say it, like that. So there is always a conditional attached to our life, right? For anything we do it. For example, only if you learn something from that, this session would be useful for you. Okay, like that, all the conditions can be done in Python using if and else. Okay, there is one more thing called else if also, that is also more used. Okay, okay, these are the three things which is used in this. Okay, and to summarize everything, I'll move on this one. So the variables have a name and a value, okay, and we can create and change the values with anything, okay, and the variables preferably could be in lowercase, okay, and it has to be meaningful. If you are not having a meaningful name like this, for example, where is that? So account balance is a good variable number, whereas b is not a good variable name. Okay, both can store the same value, nothing wrong in that, but somebody reads, they'll not understand what b is. B is balance or ball or a bitch, nobody knows it. Okay, so if it is account balance, at least people will be able to relate it. So always have a good naming convention. And if you, I have seen, we have taken people just because they have given a proper naming convention, and we have rejected a lot of people because they write a junk code by giving xyz kind of names. Okay, especially when you're sitting in the interview, always use the naming conventions properly. Okay, so that is the first thing. Okay, there's error. Okay, right now I have already done this code. It is not needed. Common errors. Okay, what are the errors? Yeah. So what are the common errors in Python? You will get it. For example, this code. So I've given a, for beautification, I've given an extra space. Okay, so to show beautifully, but in Python, it will not accept. So it's called indentation error. So you have to have the alignment towards the left hand side in the max. Okay, so the Python designers, the Guido van Rossum, what the fellow, what he says is like, so this is the guy, I'll show you the guy. Okay, so this is the guy, he looks like the professor in the Money Heist. Okay, if you are familiar with that series, okay, you know it, Money Heist, right? So this guy, so what his principle says is like, keep it simple and stupid, and make it readable. Okay, you don't try to beautify your code. The code has to be naturally beautiful. Okay, while writing the code itself, the code has to be naturally beautiful. That's what his constraint is. And that's why he removed all the open brace and close brace, and he added the alignment as one of the constraint for catching the error. For example, if you see this, for if I have added a one tab, okay, if I remove this one, and if I align everything this to here also, it will throw an error. Again, it will show an indentation error where it is in the balance line, which is in the line number 4, if you see this. Okay, so whenever you have a condition, so there will be a certain things which goes into the condition, right? So there you have to write in a one tabbed space or 4 spaces. Okay, typically there is a big fight which people go with whether to use space or tab. I don't mind. Okay, use anything, but it has to be properly aligned. Okay, so if I do this, it will be like this. Okay, so like that, we have the stuff. Okay, so this is what we have it. Probably I'm running out of time. I will run few more things. Okay, so conditions. So this is the else if, like for example, the else if is like and one more if inside it. Okay, I'm just going to rush through it. Okay, what else is this one? Okay, condition looping. Yeah, the looping is another thing which where we run something again and again. For example, when we want to do when we want the user to give the username and password correct, we give a maximum of 3 times, right? So those are loops. You have to ask again and again. Okay, or if you want to stream this video continuously, so it has to be in a loop. Okay, sometimes the same video can be in a loop also. Okay, those kind of streaming conditions will come in a loop. So typically in JavaScript, sorry, in Python, we have 2 loops. Okay, one is while loop, another one is for loop. Okay, in for loop, we give 2 things. One is either the iterators, which is like your string or your tuple or something like that. Another one is range. Okay, so when I run this, I'll be able to see this output. Okay, so crap, it is raining, whether it is asking for anything. Okay, yeah, it is asking. So input is let's say, see, I got the output like this. Okay, so the while loop, it says the condition has to be true. So once it comes in, it gets the input, and if it is true, I break the loop. Okay, this is the way you can break the loop. This is a while loop. And for loop is, for example, my string is my array of strings. So when I give that as to the for loop, it takes one by one and prints the character. See, good place to learn tech is GUVI. Okay, so that is what it has done. And the third way is like, okay, you might say like, in life I might not have always have a string. So in that case, you might use a range. Range is an inbuilt function. So you can start with 0 and go with any number 10. So it will print 10 GUVI 5 times. So let me copy this and I'll go here so that it will be easier for you guys to read it. So it see, it gave GUVI 10 times. So if I start with 5, it will give me 5 times. So one is the starting point, another one is the ending point. Okay, or it could be if the both starting point and ending point are same, you will not get an output. Okay, that is naturally straightforward. Okay, and you can even jump to also. For example, instead of GUVI, let me print I and show it. Okay, so it starts from 5 and goes till 14. Okay, it stops the number before it. So let me add 2 towards it. If I do that, the range, what it does is it jumps twice. For example, from 5 it goes to 7, 9, 11, 13, like that it goes on. So I'm running out of time, that's why I have to rush it. Okay, so loop means something which you repeat multiple times. Okay, so there are two types, while loop and for loop. Okay, and then there is an iteratable thing, and break keyword gives you the break for it. Okay, and the last topic is the list or tuple. Okay, list is something kind of an array of for example, let's say if I want to have a names like this. Okay, instead of having like this, okay, what I have done, I have declared 5 variables, right? Instead of that, I can do like this. Okay, and do a print of name1. If I do it, I'll get it. Okay, so do you remember I said whenever you see the bracket, it starts from 0, right? If I want to get it, I'll get the first element alone. I can get any number of element, and this could be done in the for loop also. For a in, okay, name1. Okay, instead of a, I would use name. It'll be easier. Name in, okay, and put a colon and then do a tab, print name1, name. Okay, when I do it, I'll get all the names over here. Okay, like that it is. Okay, so now so this is what it is. And probably let me check how much time I have it. So Harun, is it the time is over or still I have some more time? Anybody who's out there can tell me the time. Where it is. Okay, so I assume that the time is over. Okay, let me check with that. Harun or Divya, whoever it is, can you update me the time and other things so that I can continue, or like I will give a break to the people and then come back after some more time?
Hi, Arun. This is Harun. I
Yes,
think
Harun.
it's been
Yeah.
already 1 hour. I think
Okay.
we can have a 5 minutes break and we can continue with the
Sure. Okay. I'll give a break. You can take the session, and after the break, probably I'll come back and start the session as well. Okay. Because I haven't completed a lot of other things, so I'll do that. Okay. Harun, over to you, and I'll go back and start looking at the questions which people have posted.
Yeah, sure. So hi all, I hope you all are enjoying this webinar. We will have a 5 minutes break, then we will continue back. In the meantime, you can fill this feedback from about this how this webinar is going up, so we can cheer it up a little bit high again. So you are going to go to this feedback link bit.ly/GUVI so to fill up your feedback about this webinar. So we can share it a little bit. And we also have an upcoming session on Flask in Python. The question and answer session is also coming up. And also about the contest and how this certificate you're going to take. So feel free to fill this feedback form in the meantime. So we can see that already most of the participants are filling up the feedback forms. We already got almost 60 feedbacks. So we're still going to extend this for only for 2 minutes break. So feel free to fill this feedback form until then. Yeah, so thanks all for waiting and thanks all for filling the feedback forms. So we'll continue the session now. Arun, you can take it now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, welcome back, guys. Okay, so I got some of the questions from you guys. So I'll have a look at the questions and then I'll ask. So first question is Python is easy? Yes, Python is absolutely easy. That was a question which somebody asked. I think Syed was a person. Okay, it is one of the easiest language in the world right now. I can bet on it. There are a couple of other languages which is equally easy as Python. For example, Ruby is a very good language. JavaScript is a very good language, but comparatively, this Python is too easy. Okay, and there are a lot of other good avenues also which you can grow with this Python, and even JavaScript is also getting even with Python. So JavaScript and Python are the pretty good languages to get started with if you are a beginner. Okay, if you already know a language, for example, someone has said, Karthik has said, I know C and C++ and Java, and I have interest in machine learning. Is it worth to do it? Yes, it is absolutely worth to do it. I am a big fan of C++. Despite of that, I support Python. Okay, because it is much more practical and a lot of scope is there for you guys to improve. When I say improve, in the modern days, we have web development, we have image processing, we have machine learning. we have deep learning, everything is there. For example, in GUVI itself, we have a complete package for AI and machine learning completely on Python. Okay, the reason why it was popular in Python is, as it was said, it is simple language, right? Initially, a lot of other department students, especially when people like data mining and the other guys started using Python, and they created a lot of libraries for Python for machine learning and data processing. So because of that, it became popular. Once a lot of languages libraries were there, people started using the language more and more. It became a flywheel effect. Okay, more libraries, more languages, okay, and more easier. Okay, so and every company started supporting it, whoever creating the ML models. For example, the popular DL framework is called PyTorch, or even TensorFlow is there. Okay, these were not initially written in Python. Okay, now they have rewritten the entire stuff as PyTorch. Okay, they have added py, which is Python, and they released PyTorch, and it has one of the popular stuff which is out there. And even for machine learning, there are a lot of scikit-learn is another popular library, which is you can download it and you can use it. That is also available. Since the lot of support is available, people started going for the machine learning. Okay, and the data science guys started using this left and right, and people started getting the right output because they can focus more on the data rather than finding the syntax error of the language. For example, if you are from C++ or a C language, you might have seen a lot of pointer crashes, or memory handling errors, or even a semicolon error which will be exposed as 100 errors like that. Okay, so those kind of things are reduced very much in Python. Okay, Python has probably the minimal number of errors. The two errors which is popular is, one is end of file error, another one is indentation error, and third thing is a typecast error. These are the three popular errors which is out there in Python. Apart from that, there is the error handling is, or the error way to create an error by the developer is pretty less. Okay, and that is the reason why people are having it. Okay, that is the thing. And I'll move on with the other question. Okay, uh, so why, I mean, I am having a doubt, why A equal to 10, B equal to 10, and same ID. Okay, I'll explain that. Okay, so there is a programming doubt here. Okay, uh, so the next question is, when comparing other languages like Python, Java, Python uses space to do indentation. Okay, so in other languages, you use curly braces, right? This seahorse type of braces for grouping set of statements. For example, if you're writing a for loop, you'll start a open brace and end a open brace and put everything in that. Okay, and by doing that, what happens is, the beautification of the code, the alignment of the code is subjective to the developer. Okay, I might align the code some way, you may or may not do it, the third person might align it in a different way. So there is if a third person comes in and if he looks at the code, three code will look differently. Okay, because of the alignments alone. Okay, and the people who is joining the company, for example, I might join a company and work there for 5 or 7 years. I've created 1,000 lines of code, and I have moved out of the company, and somebody comes in and looks at the code, he'll be like, what this heck is this? Okay, I couldn't understand head or tail of it. Okay, everything is crappy. These kind of comments are very common, and I have also faced it. Okay, so I have worked in larger companies where we have seen crappy set of alignment. Okay, and we have literally scolded their entire generation, the person who wrote the code before me. Okay, so to avoid those kind of troubles, so Python inherently added the indentation stuff. Okay, so the alignment of the code has to be part of the programming language itself. That is what they picked it, and that's why they made it happen. Okay, and uh, so can you recommend some of the best GUI based Python development platform? That was the question. And so blindly I'll go with PyCharm. PyCharm is one of the best IDE. Okay, should that is a question, and then I'll move on to the next question. Should the out be in the decimal or integer? Yeah, out would be in the integer. It doesn't need to be an integer. It has to be a decimal, because, for example, I might have $10.30, something like that. I can do it. Okay, so it cannot be integer. If it is an integer, it will be like a whole number. So you will, so there is a biggest fraud, which is couple of years, not couple of 10 years back, there was. So one of the developer, what he did is like every time there is a amount deposited to the bank, if the amount is he will round off the amount to the nearest zero or the 5, and then he will transfer the remaining amount to the his own bank account. Okay, like that he became a millionaire. Okay, so if you by having the integer, that is what you are losing it. Okay, so it is always good to have a decimal number in terms of simple interest, because it has to be a proper numerical dotted numerical value. Okay, that is the thing. So the next question, what are the advantages of Python over Java? Lot of advantages. Okay, the first advantage is it is very simple to learn, as I said, and you have machine learning in it, which in turns helps you to learn what is it, data science and other stuff. Okay, and you can do automation, lot of automation. Previously, for example, Selenium, people used to do it with Java. Now they have stopped using it with Java and they have moved on with the Python. Okay, and DevOps. Okay, DevOps is nothing but automating the infrastructure. So there also people have moved from using the traditional automation stuff to Python based automation. Okay, like that you have n number of advantages of Python over Java. But still Java is a very niche thing. It is there, but there also it is getting outdated. For example, Python, Java used to be the only language in Android development. Now it has been kicked off, and Kotlin has come into the picture. So Java is getting into the slow death. Okay, though Oracle is trying a lot, but that is a fact. It is. Okay, is the case sensitive can be used? Yeah, any language, not only in Python, every language, it is case sensitive. Remember that. Okay, for example, if I have variable myvar in all lowercase and myvar in all capital case, both are two different variables. Both are not same. Okay, that is a good question actually. As a beginner, people might miss this a lot. Okay, Hamish, that was a very good question. Though it looks like very simple question, it is this gives you a lot of chance to have an error in the code. Okay, why do I choose Python compared to other languages? I already answered that. Okay, why in the end value slicing is added? Okay, I didn't get that. End value slicing, I couldn't get it. Sorry, I don't know who that is. So he hasn't given the name also. Okay, the next question is, how can I learn code kata? Yes, I will show the code kata now. Okay, and I'll explain what code kata is. Okay, then in my memory, when Python is running according to the data types, how memory is allocated? Okay, in Python, the memory allocation is never exposed to you. Okay, if you are from, most probably you might be from C and C++ background. The modern days, modern languages like Java, C#, Python, Ruby, none of the languages will tell you how the memory is allocated to you in variable level. Okay, in program level, in code level, what is the memory consumed, they'll expose, but they'll not tell you what is the memory which is used, especially the dynamic languages. When I say dynamic languages, the languages which you don't need to tell the data type, it automatically picks the data type, right? Those kind of languages. For example, JavaScript is a dynamic language, Python is a dynamic language, Ruby is a dynamic language. Okay, these languages will never expose how the memory is allocated to a normal programmer. If you want to learn internals, there's a different case, but as a normal programmer, you don't need to worry too much about it. You can move on with the stuff. Okay, next question, how can we put when using the for loop, it is going through every word in my string value. Yes, it will go through every word. For example, Farad, the question is like, I have a string. Okay, let's say I was showing that GUVI is the best place to learn tech. Okay, so though it is a string, it is nothing but an array of characters. So what for loop will do is it will pick one by one word and give it to you. okay, till the last word, and you have to iterate through it. uh, how to use Python for mobile app development? Really not in a big way. Okay, in mobile app development, Kiwi, there is a platform which is coming up with the mobile app development for Python, but it is not taken off to a greater extent. But where you can use this is like, for example, you can build all the backend for the mobile app using Python. For example, once again, I'm getting a call. Okay. The call was like, are you sharing the screen? I'm not sharing the screen right now. I'm just answering the questions. Okay. Probably I'll share the screen if needed. That will be also good. Okay. Uh, then what is that? Uh, what Python project do you recommend for the beginner? Okay, so the Python project I recommend for the beginner is, first is try to build a backend logic for GUVI. Let's say you are submitting a code. I will show the code kata. So let's assume you have a test cases and you have a score, or even, for example, I'll tell what is the first thing which I have done it in my stuff. So when I learned programming, one of the things which I built is like an analog clock. Okay, now you can build a digital clock you in Python. Okay, try to build a digital clock in Python, or a lot of other good projects are there. For example, build a text editor in Python. These are some of the good beginner projects which will challenge you more. So when I say text editor, you don't need to build an advanced text editor. Build something like a notepad. Okay, try to build a notepad. That itself will give you a lot of ideas for you. Okay. How does front end development work? The front end development, okay. The front end development, when it comes to front end development, there are only three elements in that. One is HTML, another one is CSS, another one is Java. What I'm meaning is the front end for web. Okay, front end for mobile, it is different. For example, for Android, it is for Android mobiles, it is Android devices. For iOS, it is like a what is it, Shift, or one more language I forgot. Okay, they people use that for front end development, but mostly in our case, for example, in GUVI, we use for front end, we use React Native. Okay, React Native we use it, which is nothing but JavaScript. Okay, so these three are the primary stuff: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and there are respective libraries for that. Okay, if you are interested, probably it looks like a self promo. We have something called Zen class, so you can have a look at it. Like, I'll show that. Okay, this is not intended for self promotion. Okay, go to GUVI and type Zen, guvi.in/Zen. So this will have all the contents for you. Okay, what is there in front end, I'll see. Full stack developer. Okay, so in this you can check about all the details, what comes in front end, what is back end. So if you here click it, these are the stuff which comes in the front end part. Okay, so how it goes in, everything, you can find it here, guvi.in/Zen. Okay, that is the place where you have to go and check it out. Okay, what is the next question? Main purpose of Python, we already seen it. What are other languages? R is also kind of slowly going out. So R is still used by academics, not in the companies. If you are academic, like professor or something like that, you go for R, or else stick on with Python if you are starting with a new language. How to learn a coding language as they speak our own native language. Okay. So typically the way to start learning a coding language, how I started with this, like, so when I joined my college, I also had a great fear on programming. For example, I didn't have somebody was saying in the intro, right? So I didn't have a computer at home. So I thought, like, without computer, you can't learn Python. Sorry, not Python, programming at all. So I was scared. One of my friend, he said that you don't need computer at all for learning computer science. So I was literally confused. How could somebody learn? So then he told, write the code in the paper which is like a logic. Okay, for example, let's take this simple interest program. Write it in your paper and give a input on your own and print it. And when I say print it, you calculate and you behave like you are the computer. So two things are there. One is the logic understanding, another one is syntax fixing. Okay, so when you write in the paper, you don't need to fix the syntax at all, because paper will never throw you an error. Okay, logic which you can find it out. So once you learn the logic, and you can go and sit in the computer for typing and fixing the errors. Okay, nowadays even mobile phone is there. Just to go to a browser and do a GUVI.in/IDE, you will get the same IDE there, and then you can type it and do it. So at least nowadays the uh, hardware challenge is removed completely. Okay, when I say hardware, owning a personal computer or a laptop is not needed at all to learn programming. All you need is like a go and have a pen and paper and think about the programming programs and write it out. For example, write a program to do odd or even, simple programs. Even to okay, one of the things which you can do is you go to the shopping complex, right, like a mall or anything. There will be a printing software which prints the bills for you. Try to write that logic in your paper itself. Okay, that could be a mini project. Okay, like that. Or if you go to the bus conductor, that conductor bus terminal, you will have the swipe and swipe out card or something like that, right? Try to write a logic for it. That's what we did in the first program. Like that, if you start doing it, it becomes a natural process. Okay, over a month or so, you'll be able to learn all those things. Okay, it takes some time. Okay, and but by regular practice you can do it. You have one more friend with you. Pick any one of your friend and then do a pair programming. That is the best way to learn programming. Okay, double and float data types. There is no double in Python. Okay, everything is float. Okay, R language is similar. Extensive library. What is hash mean? Hash means it's for commenting the stuff. For example, if I have a line here, okay, this is the line, and I don't want to run this line. If I want to comment it, this is how it is. So when I do hash, it's comment. In if you are from C and C++, slash would be there, or this would be there, something like that, right? The same way here in Python, hash is the comment for it. What are the things created using Python? For example, in GUVI, we have created a lot of things in Python. GUVI backend is partially built in Python. We have multiple languages. Python is one of the language. For example, we have machine learning over here. I'll show that. Where is the dashboard? Say this dashboard. Oh, I have zoomed out a lot. Okay, this data or the presentation is given by the machine learning model at the back. Okay, for this we use a machine learning backend completely in Python, and we give that to the front end using Flask API. Okay, which we'll see it sooner. The Flask API is API which we consume it here in the front end using front end using most probably JavaScript. We have our own framework as well, and then we do it. Okay, so this is a place where we have used Python a lot. Okay, where is the next question? Which language for front end? Front end, absolutely JavaScript, no other language. JavaScript is the king. Okay, so how can you Python help in building a drone from the scratch? So for example, okay, for if you want to build a drone from the scratch, the hardware part obviously you will be able to do it. So in the controller part, you will be using either Arduino or Raspberry Pi or similar thing, right? So all the modern controllers have a Python language support. That's where you use this Python language for that, for controlling your software-based controls in the drone. Okay, which is the best framework, web framework? I would always prefer Flask as a good framework because it is simple and lightweight. You have other frameworks like Django and other things, but compared to Django, I prefer Flask. And in the front end, I'll plug in it as an API and use it with other languages. That's how we use it. Okay. Can you provide a simple guidance to use PyCharm? And PyCharm is straightforward. Download and install next. It will create it. for Mac. Okay, for this question. How does Python is a high-level programming language? Yes, Python is a high-level programming language, and I will recommend that. Can we use Python as a front end instead of React.js? No, Python cannot be used as a front end for React.js. In front end, JavaScript is the king right now. No one else. Okay, which is the best platform to you learn Python? I would always recommend GUVI. Okay, because that's a natural way of me. Okay, what is the memory management? Blah blah blah. Okay, so all those things are standard questions. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for your question. Let's go into the code. Okay, so we were talking about the looping stuff. Okay, looping, I think we have completed. Yeah, range, we have seen it. Okay, tuples and other things. Yeah, this is where we were. So I was showing this ID. Where is the ID? Yeah. So for example, if you want to store a list of customers in your thing, okay, let's assume in Zoom we have all the participants list, right? So instead of for every participant, instead of declaring a variable, all we do is we have a array, okay, or we call that as a list in Python. In Python, there is nothing called array. Okay, in other languages, this square bracket is called array. In Python, we don't have it. Okay, instead of that, I can add name dot append. I can use it. See, I have appended it. Okay, like that you can extend any number of users like this and then add it. So whenever somebody adds it, you will append to the existing list, and the list becomes this. Okay, so this is one of the key things which will be useful in most of the cases. Okay, this is called list in Python, and there is one more thing called tuple. Okay, so tuple and list looks same, works in the same way. Only thing is tuple, tuple, that's called tuple. Okay, or tuple, whatever way people want to pronounce it. The tuple is more of a fixed stuff. You can't change it. Okay, it has to be always the same. Okay, if you want to have something which is not modifiable, you use a tuple. If you want to have something as a modifiable stuff, use list. Okay, the same code, all I did is this one. If I show it, it'll throw an error. See, tuple doesn't have an attribute named append. Okay, this line is wrong. Okay, so this is an erroneous line. If I do it, I'll be able to get it. So except that tuple and list are same. The list is always mutable. The word we use is called mutable. Yeah, tuple is immutable. Okay, that is one thing which I want to show it. And what else I want to show it? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Another interesting stuff. For example, in Python we can do a lot of things. One of the fascinating stuff is like a image modification. If you want to create a Photoshop kind of, let's assume for the namesake, okay, you can do it in Python. Okay, for that you have a module called CV2, OpenCV. Okay, so where you have to do is, if you are if you are using PyCharm, go to preferences, okay, and go to the project interpreter. There will be a plus button at here. When you click it, so you will have all the stuffs here. Okay, you can type it here, OpenCV. Okay, see, all the OpenCV engines are here. Okay, so in that I have listed, I'll close it and I'll show what are the things. See, I've already installed it, so I haven't done it. See, I've already installed OpenCV Python 4.4 version. Okay, all you need is click it. That's all. When you click it, it will install. So I'll show how to install some other library. Okay, let's say open in the OpenCV, OpenC. Okay, so let's say OpenCV, some other interpreter, CTM. I don't know what this is. Okay, I'm going to install it. I have no clue. I just want to show it how to install it. That's all. When you click install, it says installing, and it says that install successfully. That's all. Okay, So when you install it, see, you have that OpenCTM, whatever I installed here. Okay, after that you can start using it. That's how I used OpenCV-Python. Okay, after that you imported it. Okay, and then to check it, I have printed it. This is not needed. This is for the thing. And using the CV, I read my image, which is Arun pick, and I am showing it that as an output here. I'll show this. See, this is my old photo. Don't get shocked. Okay, so this 1000 is how many number of milliseconds it has to wait. Okay, this is when I visited a few years back for a conference. Okay, so it goes after 4 milliseconds, it goes. So if you want to do this in any other language, you have to have so much of pain in the ass. Okay, you have to do this, that, convert that image to this and that. In Python, all I did is in three lines. I mean, I did image and then show. This is nothing to do with just for waiting it. Okay, so just in 2 lines, I was able to do it. This is the beauty of Python. Okay, and this is what why people love Python. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so this is about OpenCV. This is an interesting thing which I want to show it up. All I spent is like maximum to not even 2 minutes, probably, yeah, somewhere around 5 minutes. I spent it to learn this. Okay, let's go and understand something called beautiful soup. This is for string parsing. Sorry, not string parsing. Getting the data from the website and showcasing it. For example, this is the site I am going to get the data. So I'm going to scrap data. This is called web scraping. This is Zen class. Okay, let's do the Zen class scrapping itself. Let's check it out, what happens. Okay, so I am trying to scrap the value using the beautiful soup. There is a package which is already there. I've already imported it. So I'll show that as well. Preferences. Okay, and see if you see here, where is the beautiful soup? See, beautiful soup, I have installed it. Okay, and urllib3 is also I have installed it. urllib is by default, it is a package, but still I went for it. Okay, so when I run it, so it reads and then it prints something. See why there is an error, URL read open. Okay, we have protected that, I guess. Okay, so when I run with the example.com, yeah, I got the value. So in our page, we haven't allowed it. In GUVI web scraping, we haven't allowed it. We have protected it. So let's assume this is example.com. This is some random site which is out there. I'll show what is the content. See, this is the example content and this is a domain. Something is there. So if you see here, I've got all the information. So typically how you use it, you go view source. So you'll have some content, right? The entire content is pasted here. See, the entire content, I have it here, whatever is there. Okay, so like this, you can, this is also done in Python, nothing but 3 lines, beautiful soup, and then do a URL request. Okay, and then actually this forget about the beautiful soup, this is not needed. Okay, source, source, come on. Okay, I'll remove the rest of the junk. Okay, and I run it. Prettify, the objects is not proper. What I have done. Okay, I have to put this as a source. Let me check it out. And soup.prettify, when I run it, yeah, see, I got the data as beautiful as the existing stuff. Okay, this is what you saw in the view source, right? So all I did is like added the URL and opened the URL, got the source. Okay, after getting the source, I used beautiful soup, okay, to make it beautiful. Even without that also it will print it, but it will look ugly. For example, I'll print that also. Print source. Okay, and I run it. Why debug point? I don't want debug point. See, this is the first line without beautification. Okay, this is with beautification. Okay, that's all. So using this library, I was able to do it just like that. Okay, this is for getting the data from someone else. This is called web scraping. This is also another interesting phenomenon which people use it. Now let's move into what is it? Flask. Okay, before that, let me check. Is there any questions which is added over here? What is the difference between a parameter and argument? That's more of a fighting for the name. It doesn't matter. Both are same for me. Okay. That thing. Yeah. Okay. So let me go to here. So Flask is another important package which helps you to build the backend for using Python. Backend using Python for any stuff. It could be mobile backend. It could be web backend. Okay. It can connect to any database like MySQL, MongoDB. For example, in GUVI, we have both the stuff connecting it. We have multiple DBs. Okay. And connect the data and fetch it from the data and give it to the front end. In the front end, you can get it in JavaScript and show it. I'll run it and show it. So the lines are very simple. First, import the Flask and do a def. Okay, normal function definition and a root. Okay, when I run this, I'll be able to get it. See, I got welcome to GUVI. Okay, so what it does is it returns some string. Okay, so browser needs a string and the HTML is packed as part of the string. For example, here I have changed as h1. So let's say we'll put a h2 also. h2. Okay, some new string and close h2. Stop and restart it and go and refresh it. See, I got the new string. Okay, so whatever is data shared from the backend is shown in the front end. Okay, it doesn't need to be the same way. It could be much more also. For example, this is also another URL. Okay, so this is called API. Okay, this entire thing is called API route. Okay, so I have on API route. Okay, in that what it expects is it expects a name. Okay, question mark name equal to Arun, let's say. If I say it, it says you are welcome, Mr. Arun. So what it does it like in the API, it got the request and stored it in the ID, and then all I did is welcome, Mr. and then the ID, which is my name. I returned it. So like that, you can build a API backend. It doesn't need to be a simple string. It could be a JSON also. JSON is nothing but your dictionaries, and you can pass that to the front end, and the front end can consume that fully and use it for any other purpose. Okay, for example, in our case, we have a machine learning model which gets your data and predicts what is the right thing and give the predicted result to the front end. Hey, if you suggest this to that person, it will be useful. He can learn a lot of things like that. It does it. Okay, so this is the stuff which we have it. Okay, so this part is the building the Flask for backend. Sorry, Flask in Python, which is nothing but building a backend in Python. Okay, what I have shown is a simple one-liner. So it can be extended to a larger extent, and it can be taken into production as well completely. Okay, and you can use it. So if you see here, So whatever we asked, it is shown here. So it is first URL is the row, primary route we got. Second one is the root plus API version 1. So it doesn't, this root can be anything. You can change it to anything. It doesn't need to be an API. It could be like, for example, let's say test v1, okay, like that, and I can stop it and I go run it. So if I type the old route, it will say that the URL is not found. So it doesn't have the URL with API v1 because now we have changed it to test. Okay, so all I need to do is test v1. If I do that, I'll get the value. Okay, it could be Arun, it could be GUVI, or let's pick some other name from the chat list. Let's say Sangya. Okay, yeah, let's put his name. I don't know who is this. If I put it here, see, it has given the name. Welcome, Mr. Sangya. Okay, like that. So you can do a lot of things like this. So here, instead of blindly returning it, you can connect to the database from here, and connecting to the database is a normal thing which you can do it. From there, you can get it back and then show it to the user. Okay. Okay, guys. So these are the stuff which I want to share with Python and the use of Python. If you have any questions, anything, feel free to post to us. We are open and active always. And okay, one more thing which I missed to do it is code kata. Yes, sorry, boss. Give me some time. I need another 5 minutes. Okay. In GUVI, you have something called code kata. So this is another place which, yeah, see, after learning the Python language, you can go and practice here. Okay. For example, here we have placed it in different topics. Okay. So go to input and output. So again, as usual, you change it to Python 3. Okay. Yeah, no, don't need to keep the code changes here as we got it. So now what we have to do is we have to print the values, read the values in 3 lines and print it in 1 line. Okay. So I need 3 inputs. I'm just showing it. 1, 2, 3, user input 1, 2, and 3. I read all the 3 values. Okay. Then what I need to do, I need to print it here. So user input 1 plus there is a space needed, remember. So it expects in the same format. User input 2 plus space is needed plus user input 3. Let me give the input, copy this input and paste it here so that it gives the same value. When I do the run code, okay, it gives the same output. Additional to that, it is printing extra all the world. So this I need to remove it. When I remove it and when I submit it, it gives me the points, full points I'm supposed to get it. It runs against the different test cases. So these are called test cases. So, and it prints it for me. To, for example, let me change it. I'll change for the simplicity, I am making it wrong. Okay, if I submit it, it will say the test cases failed. See, 2 test cases has failed. Okay, so all these things you can check it out. Okay, you can open it and then check the test cases and then start learning and fix it. See, expected output is 2, 4, 5, and my output is 2 and 4. So 5 is missing. So that is the difference. So I have to go and fix that part here. Okay, when I do that and submit it, I'll get the value properly. See, all test case passed. So like that. So the code kata, another important place where you have to go and practice once you are ready with the basic programming. Okay, so go and start in input, output, and arrays and math. So if you are able to complete these 4 items, you will be able to crack partially some of the interviews, not all of the interviews. Some of the interviews you will be able to crack it. Okay, this is one thing which I want to show it. Okay, I think that's all from my end. Harun, you can take it up. Okay, you can take it up from here. Haruna, Sendil, whoever it is, can take it from here.
Yeah, thanks, Arun. So thanks for this webinar. So guys, please stay now. For all those who raised hands, we will unmute you now. So you will ask questions. So we'll have a 5 minutes break. So then after that, all your questions will be answered by Arun. So we will unmute you and you can ask your questions. Hello, Sandil. So we'll be back. The webinar will be for a break for 5 minutes. Then after that, we will continue with the other sessions. We have a question and answer session, and we have also guest of honor coming in to about the IT opportunities in Malaysia. And in the meantime, we like to show that we have a special premium pass offer for this webinar participants that you can get all the courses in GUVI like Python, MySQL, MongoDB, JavaScript, and Amazon, and all the other 80 plus courses in GUVI all website for almost 50% offer. You can check it out on guvi.io website. We have a special coupon code like Flash50. So this is especially for this webinar participants, and it's only available till the end of this webinar. Please go and check it out. So these are some of the reviews and feedbacks of GUVI learners.
Yeah, you can start asking allow the participant to ask questions, Harun.
So those who have questions, please raise your hand so I can unmute you and you can start talking. I can ask questions to Arun.
Good evening, sir. This is Sanjay from Bhutan.
Yeah.
So I want to ask that use of Python in drone building drone flight
Sorry,
controllers
Sanjay,
once
there is too
again.
much echo on your side. We can't hear you clearly.
A minute, please, because my friend is near. Is it fine now?
Slightly better. Yeah.
I would like to ask the volume down. I would like to ask about the use of Python for building the flight controller for drone.
Okay. So the flight controllers are like, for example, the flight controllers, you will have some programming part there, right? For example, automated softwares would be there, right? So for those automated softwares, you can write in programming in Python. For example, I'll show you a couple of things.
And then how long I will take to master this Python for industry?
Mostly it will take 15 days to maximum 1 month.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay, for your question. So then we will go with Fargat Manas. Yeah, Fargat Manas, you can unmute yourself and can talk now.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you is, can I build malwares using Python?
Yes, you can. Okay. Typically, Python doesn't have much control. So what we do is we combine Python with some other language or some other tools to do the malware activities. For cleaning up activities or anything protection activities, we do that. Okay.
Like, what's the best language to do the process in?
Typically, we use tools to do it. It's not nowadays not direct language. I mean, in previous, I mean, at least a couple of years back, C++ was the language. Okay. Now people have moved to directly the tools, and the tools give the scripting. Based on the scripting, we use it. The scripting language would be most probably Python. Scripting is the standard scripting language which all the tools are supporting, and using that you can control the malware tools and clean up the stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, man.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Abdul.
Sir, good evening. Can, can you share this video?
Yes, we can. It's already there in the YouTube, I guess. Am I right, Harun? It is live
Okay,
stream
sir.
on YouTube, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So then next can we go with Abdullah?
I have a question, sir. What are the job opportunities and job market to the Python or any program language? And second question, what is the importance of the Python won't learn? Some other languages also they are, so C++, Java also they are. What is the importance of Python won't learn?
Okay. So the job opportunities, like in the future, I mean, you might have known, right? The job market is predominantly aligned to three major parts. One is the data science or the data science, machine learning, and AI. The second one is the full stack development. Okay. And the third thing is the DevOps and automation control. So in all the three places, the majority of the jobs are done using Python. Okay. So there the Python becomes a key language. Okay. That is where the opportunities are there. And I mean, two languages which I would recommend you to learn is, one is Python, another one is JavaScript. So that is the right now hottest languages of the system. Okay. There are a lot of other languages which is out there, but which is not needed in demand like this. Okay, these two are getting more in demand towards the market needs and the job needs, JavaScript and Python. And both the languages are very simple, and not just learning the language will help you. Along with the language, you have to learn certain libraries. For example, if you are learning Python, you have to learn the machine learning libraries like scikit-learn or pandas or numpy, or deep learning libraries like pytorch. Lot of other things you need to learn it. Okay, so that is one part. If you are learning the web development, you have to learn the Flask or the PyMongo and other things to play around with, connect to the database, and then showing it to the front end, sending it to the API. All those things you need to learn. So in that perspective, Python is a holistic stuff. And when it comes to JavaScript, so you might have heard with the popular word called mean or MERN, MERN. Okay, MERN stack is another popular thing which is out there. Okay, MERN stack stands for MongoDB, E for Express.js, R for React.js, N for Node.js. So all are JavaScript. So if you go and learn those things, that would be the next hottest thing which is out there. So these two languages are getting popular. Apart from that, still there are some other languages. For example, Java is still there. Okay, a lot of companies use Java, but not in a major way, but they use it Java along with it. Java is there. C# is also another growing languages is out there. Okay, C# is there for past 10 years, but nobody used. I mean, people are using it, not in the high demand. Okay, that is one language, and the other things are like Golang is another thing. Dart is another language. Okay, so these are some of the other languages which is right now hot in the market, along with Python and JavaScript. Okay, so in that top list, the winner is like most probably either JavaScript and Python combination. So if you have the combination of these two things, the number of job opportunities which you get would be at least double the amount of which you learn in any other language. Okay, let's say if you are getting 50 opportunities by learning any other language, if you learn JavaScript and Python, you will get at least minimum 150 opportunities, thrice the amount of opportunity which you get it with the normal languages. Okay, so that is the job opportunity. And obviously there is one more session after this where we'll talk in detail about the job opportunities. That is one thing. And compared to the other languages, for example, Java, C is like more of a error prone from a developer perspective, though it is very fast. Okay, my favorite language is C and C++, but still it is chance of error prone is there. So companies have migrated from C and C++ to other high level languages like Java. But even from Java, people are moving away from Java. Okay, they have moved all the background from Java to either machine learning in Python or Node.js, or sometimes Golang is also another language which people use it. So in that perspective, uh, uh, I wouldn't recommend. I mean, nowadays I'm not recommending Java or C++ to any other learners, despite of C++ being my favorite language. Okay, whereas Python and JavaScript is the popular language which will get you the more jobs.
Yeah, thanks, and I hope that answers the questions. So guys, we still have this premium pass on sale now. This is only for this webinar participants. We are giving it a flat 50% offer. Use the coupon code FLASH50 to get the premium pass at just $99. So for the next question, I think we can go with Madhumalai Premalatta. And if you want to ask any questions, please, there will be a raise hand button below this video, so you can click on that. So we'll go with Madhumalai Premalatta. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, you told that Python is used in a variety of fields like data science, machine learning, and all. What I wanted to know is, for a beginner, what are the specific facts that we should consider when we are choosing a specific path for ourselves?
Okay. So as a beginner, that's a very good question. As a beginner, you should start with the basic Python. Okay, that is the first thing which you should, let's assume 2 weeks you spend it and you learn Python. Then you have to go with the pandas. Okay, pandas is nothing but a data library which helps you to crunch a lot of data and then do a lot of data manipulation. After that, you have to use the data manipulation library, visualization libraries. For example, we have a special thing called AI combo pack. Even in GUVI itself, we have all the things which I have mentioned here. So probably we'll share the AI combo pack to you or anybody who wants it. Okay, which will tell you all the combination which is needed for learning this thing which you are doing it. So the first thing, start with Python. Second, data analysis. Third one is machine learning. Then go with the deep learning. This is the order which I would recommend anybody to get started with. Okay, I'll repeat it. First is Python programming, then data science, data manipulation, which is pandas, numpy, scikit-learn, all those things. I mean, scikit-learn comes in the machine learning. Then go ahead with the deep learning stuff. Okay, either with PyTorch or something else. So this is the sequence of the order.
Thanks, Anna. I think that answers your questions, Madhumari. So then next we can go with Kavya B.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Kavya.
So my question is that can we use Python for competitive programming?
Yes, nowadays people started using it. Previously it was not there. Okay, but a lot of competitive programmers still started using Python. So when I was doing competitive programming, I used to stay with C++ alone. Then people moved to Java. Now from Java, people are migrating to Python. Yeah, we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, I hope that answers your questions, Kavya. So for next, we can go with Joseph Charles.
Yes, good evening, sir. So my question is, so normally Python we are using for the machine learning purpose. So can't we use other language for the machine learning or train a model?
Yes, you can very well use it, but unfortunately none of the libraries are there. For example, you for building so when I worked in my previous company, so we used to build the model from the scratch on our own, okay, in C++. Okay, that is a painful stuff. For example, for learning a model, for building a model, we will take at least 2 to 3 weeks to build a model alone. For the code alone, forget about the model tuning, just the code alone. Nowadays, if I use with Python, it is one line of code, okay, which will not take more than 30 seconds. So think about the time which is saved from 3 weeks to 30 seconds. Okay, and the business are preferring that part, and business are okay to spend money on the hardware part than the time. Okay, so that is where it becomes the that is where Python beats any other language. You can do it in any language of your choice, but unfortunately those are painful compared to, for example, I showed the image reading, right? So for image reading, I have done it in C++. Okay, so at least minimum 2000 lines of code is needed to read the data and construct the data and show the image in the proper format, RGB format. Okay, especially with the JPEG stuff. So that is done in 2 lines. So when it is done in 2 lines, the productivity becomes higher and higher. That is where the users are when I say users here, the developers prefer Python over the other things, and the companies also are happy with that, because so if you want to ship something nowadays, everybody wants the update much faster. So this becomes a preferred choice for the business.
Yeah, thank you, sir. What about the R language? The R language also we are normally using for the machine learning.
No, R is not mostly used in online stuff. Okay. For example, offline analysis, yes, R is used. That's what I said. R is mostly used in academic stuff. Okay. When it comes to real time, Python is the king. Okay. And nowadays, everything is real time. For example, if you go for a shopping cart like Amazon or something like that, so or even Netflix or any other thing, okay, the recommendation has to be live and the on spot. Okay, you can't generate the recommendation and keep the recommendation. Okay, that generation is over. Probably our fathers are happy with that, but my kid is not happy with. For example, if I take my kid, he wants everything instant, so he loves things which is instant. So the instant gratification generation is the current generation. For them, R is not a best suited language compared to Python. So when it comes to general analysis, both are same, but it comes to online and the speed perspective, building an API and other things, Python beats R hands down without any challenge. Okay, next.
Yeah, I hope that answers your questions. So next we can go with Riaz Ali. So before that, I like to inform that premium pass offer is still on. We have a special offer for this webinar participant, 50% off, where this $199 courses just available at $99, where you can get access to 80 plus courses in GUVI. So please check it out. Go to guvi.io.website so you can check it out now. So Riaz, you can ask your questions now.
Yeah, thank you for this great opportunity to ask discussion. Good evening, all of you. So what I try to ask is, what is the important stuff that we have to learn if you are trying to be a Python developer in future?
Okay.
So is there any specific stuff that we have to follow or something like
Yes,
that?
it is there.
Could you please elaborate more on that? And yeah, okay. So please go ahead. And there is one more question from me. So please, if it is good to elaborate this question first, and I will ask that again.
Okay. So the some of the things which you should learn is like start with. I mean, it obviously Python programming whatever we saw today was the flow of it. So I haven't gone in depth with the programming language. For example, Python I have gave just an intro. So apart from that, you have a lot of other things like functions, how to use iterators, how to use generators, okay, how to connect to the database, okay, all those things are there, okay, how to process a CSV, these are the stuff. So this stuff is generic and which is needed for any Python track, okay. The Python track splits into two parts from there. One is web development track, another one is a machine learning track. For the machine learning track, I already explained it. I said, right, the pandas, scikit-learn, PyTorch, those are the path. When it comes to web development, so start with Flask, MongoDB, and PyMongo, and then go out with other things like Django. I think don't learn too many frameworks. One framework, Flask and Django, is more than enough for you. Okay, so this is a path. So first, till Python, you have to learn in common for any track. After that, you split into two parts, whether you want to go into web development path or in the machine learning path. So based on that, you pick the libraries, or even you can go into the image editing part. That's where the OpenCV, NLP, and other things comes into play.
Yeah, thank you very much for those important details. And one more question from me, that is like, is it possible to use the Python language for our front-end stuffs? Like we are using like the AngularJS and JavaScript and other React.js for our front-end stuffs. So likewise, can we use the Python directly, or is there any specific framework to do that, or is there any specific libraries?
Okay, so in the front end part, you can't replace the front end with Python, because the front end anyhow is going to run in web, and it is more of a, I mean, browser, which is, and JavaScript is a king. Okay, so that's where the Angular and React framework comes in. So what you can do is you can combine React with Flask. For example, in GUVI, that's what we did. We have a front end framework, okay, which is, we call our own framework, which is called Steroid, which is run in JavaScript. Okay, and that talks to the Python backend, which is in Flask. Okay, these combination you can do it. Okay, or else you can do some static stuff with Python, but that is not effective as compared to the using two combinations of React and Python. So the best choice would be learn React and also Python. These two combinations are the best combination. As I said, the MERN stack. So instead of Node.js, use Flask, MERF. That is the combination which you should use it.
So what do you think, like in between this React.js and the AngularJS, so what is more compatible with Python?
React.
So why you are preventing from the learning from AngularJS? Is there any?
AngularJS is, I mean, it is a kind of the design of the AngularJS is what it is preventing me to do it. The design purpose of the AngularJS is two-way data binding. So that two-way data binding is not needed for all the companies or all the projects. Okay, for example, the two-way data binding is like, for example, if I open a Google Doc and you also open the same doc, when I type something, it reflects automatically to you, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the feature of Angular JS. This is not needed for all the companies. Okay, for adding this feature, there are a lot of pain which goes into it. Okay, and it adds heaviness to the library in terms of Angular. So that is a choice why I would prefer React. React is a much simpler library and it fits very well with the JavaScript compared to Angular. Okay, and there is one more library called Vue.js. I even prefer that also. So React and Vue, I will always prefer Vue. Okay, since you asked for Angular versus React, I went for React. Okay, so the React is much more compact. The libraries are simpler and it can work very well with existing stuff in a library individual format. So that is the reason why I generally pick React over Angular.
Yeah, in this point, normally when we are choosing the backend language while we are using the React.js, so normally we are choosing, we are going for Spring framework like Spring Boot or something like that. So
now, Spring completely stays in Java.
Java, yeah.
Okay, so there there is no life for Python over there.
So in that case, what should be the best case?
Nowadays, even Spring also stays well with the React. So Spring Boot and React goes in hand.
Okay. So are we having this kind of workshops in future
Yes.
frequently, or
we'll have it? Actually, we even have the courses already there. For example, things you are asking, right? The Spring and other things, or even Flask. We have all the courses there in GUVI itself. Okay, you can go and check it out. We have a complete package which is focused only on machine learning, which is having the extensive stuff towards learning from the basic. We assume that you don't know anything and then we guide you till the production level. Okay.
I think that answers your question, Riyaz Ali. So we just need to inform that this GUVI Premium Plus is available only for Malaysian and Sri Lankan users. This is a special offer. This special offer is only available for Malaysian and Sri Lankan users. This is a flat 50% off on all courses in GUVI. So we'll get access to all the 80 courses of GUVI. So just visit www.guvi.io. So you can check out and buy this offer. So for the next, can you go with Shashank Jha?
Hey, how about the other session with the Malaysian representative? Is it ready or like?
He'll be joining in 2 minutes.
Okay. Then till then, I'll take the question.
Okay, so this will be our last question from Shashank Jha. So after that, we have a guest of honor session with us.
Sure.
So,
Shashank?
Yeah, Shashank, you can ask your question now.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I have a question that I am a student and beginner and I am doing the competitive coding in Java. So is it convenient for me to switch Java to Python?
Yes, that will be much more easier in terms. For example, Java is a more verbose language. You have to type a lot of things. Okay. In Python, it doesn't. Okay, everything is part of the language itself. For example, in Python, Java, if you want to have a hash map or something like that, you have to use the collections and the map and other things. Sometimes it looks like synchronous, asynchronous, all those things you have to take into consideration. But in Python, that is part of the basic core language itself. We have dictionary which acts as a hash map, which is not access, which is a hash map. Okay, and it will help you in a faster and better way of solving problems. Okay, so in that perspective only, I suggest Python for even for competitive coding.
Yeah.
We have time for one more?
Yeah, we have time for one more.
Okay, cool.
I think we can take a question from Ali Al-Janabi.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Actually, I have found a little of leak with Python packages and Arabic dialects. So
okay.
can we create or easy to create a package for Arabic dialects, or it is hard for a beginner?
It is little hard for the beginner. I would be put it frank, but if you spend quite a amount of time, it is much more doable. Okay, it is not a Herculean task, but it is little hard for the beginner level. Okay, start learning Python without the Arabic dialect for some more time. Then you start converting your things to the Arabic dialect. Then it will be easier for you to go out with it.
Actually, there is many packages that are from Qatar and many others actually in Arabic, especially in terms of Llama, Backwalter. But all of them, when you try to upload or to use actually these packages, the results it's not correct. So
Correct.
how can we
You're
develop or can package? So it's hard for beginner now.
Yes,
but it's
it will
not
take some
hard.
time to see. It's not your problem. The problem is the package.
Okay, so I'm interested actually to develop one of this package. So at the moment, since I'm beginner, cannot.
Yes.
So what's the skills I need to do this?
So typically you will start with the, AI combo pack is the right package for you. So there is a package which we will send it to you. That will be the suggested thing where you should get started with that.
Thanks a lot. I will appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day.
Welcome.
Yeah, I think that answers your call, Al Janabi. So I believe we have our guest of honor here.
Okay.
So yeah, so So we have our guest of honor here. I would like to Ashwini to welcome her.
I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our guest of honor, Mohammad Ali bin Hajam Aydin. He's currently the CEO of PSDC, Penang Skills Development Center, which involves in addressing skills mismatch in graduates and workforce transformation. It's not only in Penang, but also covers nationwide. So Mohammed had also successfully established PSDC as a center of excellence in Industry 4.0 in the area of precision machining and manufacturing process. We welcome you, sir. We would ask you to deliver a speech for us.
Hello, sir, Mohammed. You can start presenting your screen, or you can start the conversation. You can unmute. Right now, you are in the mute state.
I believe Mr. Mohammad Ali, you unmute yourself and can start talking.
You need to unmute me.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, good now. Okay, it's great to be here. Thank you, Bala and the team from GUVI. Well, I see a lot of people from around the world. We need to talk about IT employment opportunity in Malaysia. Well, for 10 minutes, what I'm going to say is this. IT is not new to Malaysia. If I can see a lot of young guys in the system, IT initiative started in Malaysia back in 1995, where the Malaysian government launched Vision 2020. So it's been 25 years that we has launched it. Ever since that, we have having a challenge of getting IT graduates or workforce in Malaysia. Unfortunately, the job creation was huge. A lot of opportunity has been created back in 1995, but it's very difficult to get good, qualified, knowledgeable IT here in Malaysia. So what happened? Malaysia have to employ a lot of foreign workers because locally we can't supply. And even now, we are actually seeing this particular problem continue. But there are two sets of problem. Back then, when we started in 1995, up to 2010, the problem is actually there are a lot of IT institute in Malaysia, but the graduates which is there are graduating there are not what industry want. So their knowledge is actually different from what industry want. Because when industry came to Malaysia for investment, they come up with a different demand of knowledge, and the local institution was producing graduates, which is actually mismatched with what the industry wants. So Malaysia imports a lot of IT graduates. Even my own company, when I was running a company, I had two major projects that I embarked, funded by the Malaysian government research and program. We couldn't find knowledge. We had to bring knowledge from outside. Now, after 2020, government starts putting, a lot of efforts to streamline, to have graduates that to come into IT. But Malaysia faces another issue whereby less and less of our graduates are interested into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Are going into non-STEM area. So in Malaysia, only 15% of our graduates are graduating into STEM area. The remaining is going to non-STEM. So again, we have a serious challenges on IT. When government is actually introducing in 2016, 2017 Industry 4.0, where main topic there, which is actually operation technology, convert to information technology, there's serious demand of IT. IT is in a lot of government board. Currently, government are looking into different ways to get in IT graduates, to have an IT graduates. First of all, when we have a graduate from, when we bring inbound, workforce from other countries to work in Malaysia sector, we face problem because after a certain while, after 3 or 4 years, the graduate will go to back to their country or they go to other countries. So the problem was not, completely addressed, and we have a lot of challenges to retain the knowledge. So now the demand greater. Since we have less of Malaysians are interested, the government even looking at the area of after finishing school, if you're age of 18, you finish your schools, government are trying to introduce dual training program whereby the student can be employed in a company, a lot of IT companies in Malaysia. They will immediately given the knowledge of, to learn about very specific IT skills. After that, at the same time, they will be trained in some kind of treasury areas. They will work, they will pay well, and then at the same time, companies will fund them. Let me tell you that in my state, 18 years old guy school, we do of course. He will be offered a job immediately, and then we of 6,000 ringgit in Malaysia. I'm not sure how much is 6,000 ringgit in Malaysia. Is compared to Indian rupees, but if it's the US dollar, it's probably 1.2 or 1.3 K of US dollar. That is about the salary when you finish 18 years old. Company will hire you, can give you probably 1,200 US dollar for you to start. At the same time, the company will sponsor you study. So it's a challenge, but we still are facing a challenge of getting students to come to IT. It's in a great demand. The reason why it's in a great demand because Malaysia is a manufacturing, company.
So your voice is breaking, sir.
Okay. What about now? I hope it is
now
not.
better.
Okay, Malaysia is a manufacturing, country. 38% of our GDP is from manufacturing. With Industry 4.0, the component of information technology converging with operation technology. So the demand for IT just surged. I'll give an example. We need a lot of, for example, Python coders. need a lot of data analysis, we need a lot of AI questions, because simply the machines become more smart. There's a need for many of our manufacturing machines to be upgraded to put IT component inside there. So the demand for IT is actually huge. Conclusions on my kind of sharing here is actually IT not going to go away, right? Even though people are telling about this in the bubble, IT going to come too many IT graduates. Let me tell you that whenever moving forward with the fourth industrial revolution, information technology is converging with information technology, the demand for IT increases. In fact, all the engineering students have to learn IT. This is why I'm quite impressed with GUVI platform, whereby I can see in their platform they have operation technology programs, courses, and IT technologies program courses. So if you are studying engineering, if you are technicians, if you are studying other area, GUVI platform is a great platform for you to go and learn about IT. Because if you're going to graduate as an, for example, mechatronic graduates, either diploma or degree, if you have IT, if you know coding, if you know Python, if you know data analytics, if you know machine learning, if you know AI, you are much more needed by the industry compared to any other graduates. So it's good. Congratulations to we have a wonderful platform. I hope that people who participate in this, you are in the right platform. Continue, explore yourself. Whatever your normal education teachers like Malaysia, we still teaching separately, engineering, science separately, IT separately. We hope that that will not go away for another 5 to 6 years. So each individual students need to look into upgrading knowledge. If you're engineering science, you need to know IT. If you're IT, you need to know engineering, because moving forward, things will have to work together. But that's what information sharing from me. I hope that's an adequate.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Thanks for clarifying that. I mean, thanks for sharing the views from Malaysia perspective about the opportunities over there, for specifically for IT skills. Let's see whether we have a few questions. Participants, you can actually raise your hand if you want to ask question to Mr. Mohammed. Actually, we have one. Shashank, is the question is for Mohammed? If it's for Mohammed, you can actually still raise your hand, or else you can actually drop it. You can lower hand if you feel. Okay, Farah Manas. Okay, let me ask on you.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Like, is it possible to apply scholarships in Malaysia, and like, can I work while I'm studying?
Well, okay. I'm not sure about foreign scholarship from local institutions and organization for foreign students, but they do have. You can explore, but we see they are also inbound of a lot of foreign students in local universities, because most of them, if you are in the right field, after you finish study, you will be offered a job in Malaysia. So that is in rise. Well, as a Malaysian, I don't recommend, right? Because but this, since there isn't a lot of opportunity in Malaysia, we welcome. If one of the way to come into Malaysian workforce, there are several ways. One, you finish your degree in your country and you apply. There's a lot of job vacancies you can see in IT in Malaysia, or we can see also a trend. People come and study in Malaysia, and also they are offered a job. It will be much more easier, because you're already in Malaysia, so you know where's the opportunity you can apply. But unless you apply job from internationally, the company must hire and bring you in. So the process will be much more challenging. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Farah, for asking this, and thank you, Mr. Mohammed, for answering this. Now I'm unmuting Riaz Ali. Mr. Riaz Ali, you can please unmute.
Yeah. Okay. So, I thought I have already unmuted. So, yeah, thank you very much. So, good evening, sir. I need to ask regarding the distant working employee, like freelancer. So, is there how we can explore that kind of opportunities to work on Malaysian companies regarding the software related companies? So, how we can try to achieve that kind of target from Sri Lanka? So is there any specific ways or is there any specific strategies to do like that? So can you please let us know that kind of knowledge to work on that kind of processes?
Okay, there is a one government website. We call it MDEC, Malaysian Digital, Development Corporation, right? We call it MDEC. If you go to this website is is a government website. They will post into all the IT activities, fund available, research grant available for local and also foreign. So this is one good website for you to start. The other way is actually you can look for job posting, which is available. There's a one of the way that which is currently very, very famous. I will not say famous. The right word is actually popular in Malaysia. Is actually a lot of people, either individual or company, they will approach company directly. The one of the platform is actually through LinkedIn. They will approach it and then they will give their services they can do. We can see this quite a bit of a company when someone offer their outsourcing services in terms of designing, doing a solutions, and we can see company are picking up. Even my own company is actually evaluated few offers through this social platform, and then we engage a company from abroad, for the solutions that we need. So yes, these are the two platforms that you can look at. One is the government. You can look at www.mdec.com.my, or Multimedia Development Corporation. We call it Multimedia Development Corporation. You can actually Google it. They have a lot of information which in terms of IT, the need and everything. Another one, you can directly look into the companies and you can offer services through social media platform.
Thank you, Riaz Ali, for asking this. Thanks, Mohammed. Any other question, guys? Participants? Okay, if not, okay, I am okay. We have Abdullah have raised it. We'll just unmute it.
So, any other scholarships providing from the Malaysian universities?
They are scholarship, now COVID, so I'm not sure whether they're going to allow people come into the country. But Malaysia offers scholarships for the master degrees and above a lot. First degree, no, I think there's a quite less of scholarship. But for master's degrees, there are only 22 public universities in Malaysia. You can look into it. There are more than 100 private universities, good private universities. You can look into that directly of this. But chances of getting a scholarship for first degree is quite challenging. But I will recommend highly, after you finish your first degree, if you're going to further your study into masters, yes, there are quite a bit of scholarship, especially in the area of IT, or I would rather say science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So quite a bit of scholarship available. Look into that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Abdullah, and thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Mohammed, I have a question actually. So, I heard you speaking about how things are growing over there and how opportunities exist, right? So, how do you see in the next few years, for example, in the next 3 to 5 years, right, about the IT jobs or IT skills that are actually needed in the Malaysian market, or how the people should be ready for it?
Well, as I told that because our country, the base is manufacturing, right? Before this, we don't really bother about IT. IT was another subsector. We know they're looking into outsourcing, software developments, and all sort of things. But due to this Industry 4.0, 38% of our GDP is from here. We have thousands of manufacturing companies, all of them now in the mid of migrating to incorporate IT into their operations. So the demand just exponentially going high. So as a Malaysians, we are in a serious situation of a lack of a manpower in terms of IT, which is actually our problem now. And the problem just get escalated because of a COVID. Nothing moves. So the whole country is in a shutdown since March 18. We start shutdown on March 18, so that studies is not happening. We are quite worried as a country. Government tried to introduce a lot of policies, so we do not know. So to answer your questions, probably for next 10 to 15 years, the demand for technology-driven programs will be very high. Since COVID, most of this program, which is need a kind of hands-on, now is being simulated and is being transferred to IT platform. So this will again open up a lot of IT opportunity. But for Malaysians, because we are already into all of college face-to-face situations, whereby even though our IT infrastructure is very good, since most of our college is actually looking into engineering programs and so on, our students are not really keen into going into the IT at the moment. So that is a challenge that we have to face in Malaysia, how to encourage that. And also all our infrastructure, we need to also look into how to migrate that so that the training can be teaching and learning can be developed to online platform. They are quite search. In fact, we did embark in a lot of programs earlier this year. Just COVID stopped everything. If not, our platform that we were working with some partners, I think who is the partners, will be accepted pretty much. But due to COVID, everything is actually stuck. We hope that after the COVID, things will just exponentially go out. So that opens up to another challenge. Manpower, resources is actually going to be a challenge for us for another 1 and 2 years. It's an immediate. IT going to stay, technology going to stay in Malaysia. Government has a plan for another 50 years. I don't think that will going to go anywhere.
Okay, that's why. I mean, yeah, as the rest of the world, we also let's hope that things become normal and we actually restore the same level of passion that I could see from your team, right? To establish the skills. Let's hope that we will actually reinitiate it soon.
Sure.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll actually need to mention it here. So Mohammed, in spite of his busy schedule, so I just made a request to him to be part of the session, since the more people are actually from Malaysia over here. So I just want them to know what is the opportunities for them once they become skilled, right? So what is the opportunity? That is why I asked it, and immediately Mohammed accepted for the request, and we just made it happen. So thank you so much, Mohammed.
It's an honor to talk to a lot of audience. Hope it helps.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Mohammed. Bye. Okay. Thank you, participants. Thank you. So we are actually nearing the end of the session, but hold on. So there's an interesting part over here. You would have seen about the Amazon vouchers and gift coupons, right? So how we have structured is, everyone would have seen how the code kata works, correct? So everyone would have seen how the code kata works, which Arun demonstrated. So what we will do is, we will keep the code kata open. I mean, we will allow the people to participate in that, and we want you guys to go and practice in that, because programming is all about practicing. It's not just attending the webinar or attending the workshop, right? It's about doing hands-on. Okay. So we want you guys to just go and try a few programs over there. Okay. And increase your geek points in it. Okay. It's completely free, no charges over there. You can just go and try it. Practice as much of problems as you want it to be. Okay. So tomorrow the same time, like maybe we can freeze it at around 5 o'clock. Okay. So tomorrow 5 o'clock, the same participants who are still there, right? So these 183 participants whom are present till now, right? So the list will be collected. Maybe we will share the participants list now. Please enter your attendance over there. Okay. So the same list will be evaluated by tomorrow 5 o'clock. to see who is the one who's in the top list, who are the people who are coming up in the top list for the code kata points. Okay, so team Harun, kindly share the attendance list so that people can enter their names and email IDs, so that we are aware that these are the people who deserve the certificates. So as Harun mentioned in the initial, so the people who are till the end of the session are the one who will be given the certificates for attending this workshop. So please do enter your details so that we capture it and we send you the certificates over email. Okay, and also we will keep the contest open till 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so if you have, feel free to go and practice it, and whoever actually, who are the people that we don't restrict the numbers. We are just looking for the people who comes in the top toppers. So let's decide on the final numbers tomorrow. I'll wait for you guys to start practicing and come in the leaderboard. Okay, so I'll repeat, go to CodeKata, start solving the problems over there. So tomorrow 5 o'clock we will see who has solved the maximum number of problems, and they will be given the gift vouchers.
Hi sir, this is Harun.
Yeah.
Just one more another information to the participants. So kindly use the same as you use for the Zoom webinar in this code kata problem also. So we know that you are the same persons who was attended this webinar.
Harun, please repeat. We lost your voice.
Yeah. Kindly use the same email address you used to register for the Zoom webinar in the code kata while solving the code kata problems. So we know you are the same person. So the certificates will be provided to all the participants here. We have the list. So kindly use the same email address while solving the code kata problem also to win the Amazon gift vouchers.
There's a question over there. Riaz Ali has asked. We will unmute and we can answer.
Yeah. Is that possible to post the link for that Kolkata link to solve the problems?
You want the Kolkata link?
Yeah.
You can just go to GUVI.io, and in the practice tab at the top, you can see Kolkata. It's very straightforward, Riyadh.
I went for that GUVI.in.
GUVI.io. No, GUVI.io.
GUVI.io, right? Okay.
Both are same still, but GUVI.io. You can see the practice tab there, right?
Wait a minute. So GUVI.io, yeah. There is a.
Sorry, just information. It will not be in the home page. You have to click on the courses. On the left side, you can see the code cut option.
Okay, I need to go visit the courses section, right? I visit the courses section.
At the left top, second option is Kolkata. You can just see there.
Okay. So the paid courses and offers, like that, right?
Yeah, in the same way at the top left, you can see this. Okay. Thank you, Reza. I am moving to the next person. Yeah, Abhirami, you can unmute actually.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
and the session was too nice, but in this chat it has been disabled. So I want an attendance link, and although that person asked to share that code kata link.
Okay, so maybe Harun, can you share the attendance link over here in the chat? Is it possible now?
Sorry, sir, we are unable to use
no,
chat.
I was able to. No, I was able to send it. Can everyone receive it? I have just texted hi. Did everyone
Yes,
receive
sir, I
it?
could see that hi.
Yeah, I think Harun, it's okay now. We can send it. I was able to click it. Or you can send me in WhatsApp. I can share it. The attendance link actually.
So we need the attendance list.
Link. Yeah, so that people can actually enter it now, right? So for the certificates, we need to give for these participants 181 participants now, right? Share a Google Form link in which people can enter the details, right?
Yeah, just a minute, sir. I will share it now.
Sure. Just a minute, participants. Overall, I think you guys would have found it useful.
Yes, sir. It was too useful, and had shared that code kata link too.
Sure. So actually, everyone has received it now, code kata link. So it has been shared. and we will also share the coupon code which you can use it.
I couldn't get that link. Where can I check that?
No, we have actually texted over there. In the message you could see, in the chat you could see Riyadh's.
I'm not able to see the chat because I think you have disabled from
No,
your
it's enabled actually. Everyone, I mean, is anyone else able to see that? I think
No.
Abhirami said she is able to see.
I'm not sure because there is only participant and share screen, record, reactions. Only 4 types are there. When I click on that in one of the participant also, I couldn't get into that chat.
Okay,
tab.
just a minute, Riyaz. Just a minute, Riyaz. We'll see that.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Sahan.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. That Riaz Ali is saying it because we cannot get the chat box. I think we can only see the
maybe
participant. Yes.
I think it's blocked based on IP or something. I think so, because for other people, I was able to see it from here in India, and Abhirami, I'm not sure where is she from. So she was also able to see the chat. So I'm not sure that for Malaysia it's actually blocked. Okay, what we can do is just a minute. So in the Facebook.
So do we get a link? So can we get a link through Gmail or something?
No, we can send it, but I'm just thinking about who's the participants over here, right? So anyway, we'll send it to all the participants. Okay.
Yeah, we actually have the list of participants who was here till the end.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually get it, so there will be no issues. There is no need of registration of anything.
Okay.
Send the same. What is the name and email address you are given it? We can send it to them.
Okay, that's good actually. So every one of you will receive the link to register. I mean, to participate in the Kolkata exam, and also you will be given the coupon code or the discount code. It's still accessible, Harun. The vouchers.
The
or
vouchers.
it's over.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. Forward this contest, right?
Yeah. The contest.
So, yeah, we will be sending them Amazon gift vouchers or the gift. We will be contacting the person.
No. The discount voucher which you have shared 50%.
It's still available. It's flash 50.
Okay.
FLASH 50.
Okay, just share it in the mail as well so that anyone can actually get used to it.
Sure. We have extended it for one more day for this participant especially for these participants.
Okay.
So they can access. So they can still use. Participants will also receive this coupon code along with this email.
Okay, thank you. So the last 2 questions, one is Shashank and Madhumali. I'll just unmute them. Just a minute. Yeah, Shashank.
Thank you so much, sir, that you have given so much nice session. I have question from Python, I think.
Okay, Python, I think. Okay.
Actually,
Shashank.
that time mute.
Okay, no worries. Python, no worries. Actually, Shashank, no worries. So there is a forum dedicated for these questions. Okay, in GUVI.
Okay.
We'll share the forum link as well. You can actually post your questions over there, and the author will actually answer for it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Shashank. Okay, I'll just unmute Madhumali now. Yeah, please go ahead, Madhumali.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, in the Kodkata platform, the leaderboard is only for the ones who join with the premium package, right?
Sorry, Madhumali, please repeat.
If I logged into the GUVI platform, not with the premium package, with the free thing for now, the Kodkata leaderboard will not be available for me, right?
No, leaderboard actually, you will actually come in the leaderboard as you solve the problems. Okay, you can still come in the leaderboard, but it's more of who have topped with the scores, right? They are listed in the leaderboard.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll get more options if you become a premium user.
Okay, to get the certificate for this session, that won't be a problem.
No, that won't be a problem. அதுக்கு சம்பந்தம் இல்ல. இதுல உங்களுக்கு you will get it actually.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, guys? I think we are done. Last question. Okay, Santosh A. Yeah, Santosh.
Yeah, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, actually, the certification form shows like you need permission from the organizer.
Sorry?
I'm not able to fill that form, sir.
May I know which form? Santosh, can you please repeat which form you're asking?
Santosh? So the certification form, sir.
Okay, Harun, any issues in that? There is no, I mean, certification form. You mean the attendance form?
Yeah, sir. It shows like you need permission. This form can only be viewed by the users in the owners of organization.
Okay, Harun, can you please check it?
Yeah, I will check it now.
Okay, check it, and if there is any restriction, please make it available for everyone else to fill it. Okay, fine. I think we are done with it. So, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being an amazing participant and being an active participant in this as well. So, I mean, we still keep building question over here, but considering everyone's time, I need to end it here. Maybe, okay, Riaz, I have answered it, so I'm going for the next two people as the last two questions. One is Minindu.
Sir, from where I can get the certification form?
You will be sent it, Minindu. Don't worry about that. You will get it in email.
To Gmail?
Yeah, the email which you used to register, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You will get in that. Thank you. Lakmal. Lakmal. Ariya Peruma. Okay, you haven't asked. Okay, Riaz, you get another chance.
Yeah, I was asked regarding that certificate. So after this session, so we will get that certificate through the email, right?
Yes, you will get it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, guys, I think everyone has finished it. So we will wind up here. Thank you. And we look forward to more sessions. So I hope you enjoy this as well. Is this time okay for you guys actually? Maybe we will send it as a feedback so you can actually vote in that, or you can actually suggest if there is any different timing. So we'll stay in touch. And GUVI has been explored in Malaysia and the Sri Lankan market now. So we get a lot of traffic day in, day out. So feel free to go and check it out on a day in, day out basis. See through the courses that we have launched, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it. And most of them are actually from the industry partners. In the sense, the people who have hands-on experience are the one who has actually created the courses in GUVI. So I'm sure that you will love it. And there are specific courses which are created by IIT Madras professors, so which will also be a very good value addition if you are actually going to learn top-notch skills. Okay, so I'm sure you will like it. So please feel free to check out guvi.io whenever possible. And if you have any questions, you can come to the chat, and we can actually talk to our customer success team as well. Okay, so see you guys. See you in a couple of weeks again. We will send another invite based on your request. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.